Rumble. We are alive. Start looking like a chief or what? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We've got the forum. It's live. We're just waiting for more candidates to show up and more members. Be prepared for a long night. We're gonna, expect to be finished around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. people. So, hopefully, the goal is to be out of here by 10 p.m. So we will keep our candidates on a tight schedule, 5 minutes strict. I got my enforcer here, Eddie. He's gonna enforce some rules. And yeah, there we go. We're live. Good, right on. It's working. She said, "Okay, good." So feel free to share the stream to friends, family, band members all over the nation. Okay. Good evening, nephew. Good evening, Auntie Perline. Oh, so is the audio coming out good? Can you hear me clearly? I should wear this kind of. There you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, audio is working. Okay, good. Yeah. Here we go. Let me check this countdown. Let me see if this countdown works. Look at. Fancy seeing you there. Just kidding. All right, I'm having too much fun with this. I'm gonna have to put you guys on a background for now. I'll put some music on, your favorite acoustic or something. People are still coming in. Unless you want to watch, I'll keep this background. Actually, I'm gonna keep the main camera up for now, and I'll put some music on. You guys, as you're joining in the live forum, feel free to chat amongst each other in the comment section. I'll leave a question up here. Let's see. How is everybody and where are you from? Feel free to talk amongst each other in the comment section and engage with one another in the comment section if you will. Okay. I'm gonna put music on for you guys for now and continue. Maybe set up some chairs while others are still walking in. Okay. All right. Let's go with some dance pop. There we go. So who's here? And end it with who's here. I'm muted. I'm muted. All right, there we go. A ninja go. Now you can hear me. Okay, there we go. How is everyone doing? I know we are running on some serious, like I'm talking like serious Indian time, like real Indian. I should have, well, I'll give thanks to Jerry. Jerry helped us set this venue up. So huge shout out to Jerry. This is the Indigenous Christian Fellowship Center in Regina. So thank you, Jerry Papquash, for helping out and setting this up. He's here. I just want to acknowledge that. And we are at the Indigenous Christian Fellowship Center in Regina. uh, and still waiting on some council and some chiefs and some band members. So how can I entertain you until then? As uh, let's see. Well, let's have a discussion. How about between myself and you guys? How can we better um, organize these events for you guys? How can we make it more convenient? How can should we establish as well like ground rules? Should I establish ground rules at the beginning of the meetings too, so we don't, not fighting one another? Wanting all and wanting, waiting on aunties. Yes, we are. We are waiting. Mhm. And if you know anybody that doesn't have Facebook, this is also streaming on my YouTube page. So I'll post that here. I think it's just my name for the YouTube channel. So if you know members that don't have Facebook and would love to watch, get them to look, find my YouTube channel. Okay. I think it's just like this. I'm commenting it. Okay. Jay-Cee grass. That's all. Elvin G. Snag at the powwow. Ah, Shame, boy. No. But yeah, we just came from there actually, just to check it out. So it's pretty cool. It's nice to see. We've seen some of couple band members there that were already there. They're not going to be able to make this open forum because they're there, right? Make programs for your reserve. Eating class, TP making, ribbon, skirts and shirts. Okay, okay. I like it. I like it. Duly noted. So anything you put noted here, it will still stay on the live. So definitely good note. Where is this located? We are located in Regina at the Indigenous Christian Fellowship Center, off of Garnett and Dudney. Uh, how did the youth how did the youth in Regina do in Regina provincials? So we had from the Edmonton Live Forum, we traveled all night to get to the Regina because I wanted to be present for our youth competing in the Regina provincials for track and field. Got here early in the morning. I was just tired. But it's awesome because once I come walking around the corner, uh, like the youth, they noticed me first. I was trying to sneak up on like find them first and then surprise them, but they saw me first. They were super excited. We hugged, and then unfortunately, I missed our very own Haley Desjardins. She had 800-meter hurdles in the morning or something. So I missed her race. It was like right at 9 a.m. I missed her race, and I missed our very own key band member, uh, Kayla Desjardins. I missed her competition. She competed Friday, so I missed their races, and I was trying to make it back for them as well. But I was still in support of our Northway Schools youth that I also coach the throwing events for them. So I was able to help with javelin, discus, and shot put. So it was awesome event. Very fun. Oh yeah, and by the way, so Northway they did come back with a gold medal. One of our girls, Summer Johnson, bronze in high jump, or is it long jump? I can't remember, but she got a bronze medal. So I welcomed her to the Legends Club because I myself have a provincial medal and my own banner at the Northway High School. So I welcomed her into the Legends Club, and yes. See. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. I'll keep you guys entertained as long as I can. We have right now. I'll update you. So we have one, two, three, three council members here right now. Two more on their way. myself, chief candidates, so 6. Oh, they're outside now? Okay, so that's 5, for sure. 5 council, 1 chief here so far. I think 5 council, 1 chief. We're waiting for some more candidates. We're gonna get this going. I know, real like Indian time, like bad. This is like, yeah, I know. She said, saying it like it is. Um, hmm. Okay, we'll give. All right on, all right on. How long do you have the building for? Good question. Maybe Jerry can answer. So, Jerry, how long do we have the building for?
10 o'clock.
We have to, we have to be out here by 10?
What time do we get the building till?
We got boot and scoop by 10, so that's a good thing. And well, it is a good thing. We'll just say it's a good thing generally because that'll speed up the process. Push us forward. Are you guys getting anxious as the days come? Not yet, honestly. I feel. Well, I'll say instead of anxious, I'll say excited. I'll say excited. Definitely say excited. Mm, yeah, I'll say excited. Okay, well, actually, I just noticed a few more band members coming in. 1, 2. 1 second here. Okay. We got 12 people present. Still only 5 council, 1 chief. We may have to get this rolling and get council speaking. How are you guys feeling about this, everything that's going on? How have you guys been enjoying these live forums? This is part of the change, you know what I'm saying? It's part of the change, you know what I'm saying? So let me know, like, it's great to see the feedback and hear the feedback. So much drama. Yeah, but they begin. I honestly really think these live forums have been very helpful for our communities. Um, it's been helpful in a way. We're bringing a light to a lot of things.
I'm pretty sure you're holding it.
So you think I left it in my room? You didn't see it. You didn't see it in your car?
No,
I'm in there.
because there was something. You have that black, the whole
It's a gray one.
Huh?
It's gray.
Right?
Gray. Gray.
Right.
Yeah, it's like kind of like that, but it's like
But I'm pretty sure I started holding it when
took it inside.
Oh, yeah, that black, they knocked me over.
No. Oh, I might have lost my selfie stick or my gimbal. It's called a gimbal. I might have lost it. Okay. Oh, whose idea was it for these? Great question, Shaylin. Great question. But I'm waiting for on reserve one. Like these lives, very convenient, sit and relax. Yes, very convenient. To answer your question, Shaylin, I'd like to, I don't want to take all the credit, but you know, I got a little bit. I'll just say I've helped organize. I will not organize, but planted the seed for these open forums or like change, bringing a light to these things because I know how to operate these programs. Yes. Yes, there, Shaylin. And it's not just only on Facebook now, right? It's on YouTube. So if you don't got Facebook, you go on YouTube. But the end, so in the end, I also want to like one of the things I speak about in like one of my platforms, my long. If you read my document that I posted on my page, in the document I talk about developing a community app where we could use our tree numbers to log in, and we can all be on this one platform. Just got to download the app. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you can communicate, how we can all communicate, and maybe even decide on that's a way we can vote on things potentially. If it's just on an app and we have our own secure system of logging in and a secure way to maybe get our votes or whatever going forward, maybe that's a way we can do our voting system in the future potentially. I don't know, rather than having these ballots and whatever, maybe makes it more secure, but it's just an idea. So right, hola. No, I didn't phone no. I'm just entertaining our people online because we've been live for 31 minutes. Okay. Now you're yawning. What? Yeah. Okay. Well, we might have to. We only have this room until 10. Let me fix this. Let's create a banner. Should we wait for more stuff? Should we wait for more members or just start? What do you guys think? We'll let you guys vote. What's going on, Jay? We're waiting for more members and candidates. We have a decent amount of members here, but we only have one, two, three, four, five. Wait, one, two, three, four, five, six. Six council and one chief here. And these are the guys that have been there pretty much every time. So we got my Ivy, Esther, Shanna, Kim, Eleanor, and Richard, and myself. That's what we got. And then we got some band members here that live here in Regina, and we're just, do we just go for it? Oh, some more band members. Right on, right on. Yeah. What do you guys think? I want to keep you guys involved, and your thoughts matter, right? Your, I mean, so Keisha says go for it. I got one. So you're not running late again. That's a great idea. I need 10 more people to say that. Just go for it, and we'll just do it. Because we got 21 online. If we get over half, actually, then we'll just do it. Start with whoever's there. No, or are you waiting on all of them? That's a good. That's a good idea. I know our council, like the people here, want to speak to the Regina band members. So there's also only a small amount here, but it'd also be nice to get everybody else on.
Should we start at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, we could do that. 8 o'clock. If you think more, do you know more?
There's people coming.
There's more people coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should be here by 8 o'clock.
And then, okay,
Yeah, but we should just get started.
get started now.
Well, at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start at 8 o'clock.
Okay, right at 8 o'clock. All right, you heard that, folks. We're gonna wait for 8 o'clock. Yeah, yeah,
And more people will be coming.
yeah. Okay. Were they all notified? Yes. You got a little bit of time, 2 hours. Might as well start. Go for it. It's okay. These things happen. Yes, that's right. These things do happen. These things, it's a reality that sometimes not everything works out the way we want it to work out. Right? It's gotta roll with the punches, and just move forward. So right now, we got a few more band members. We got one, two, three, four, eight, eight band members. That's and then plus the leaders that are here. So then that's leaves us 17 people here at this moment. 17. Just waiting for a few more people. I know you guys heard me speak, but every time it's not the same. I like to bring a different perspective each time. Yeah, I should probably share this on my page. Do- I'm going to share this. Oh, there's Shannon. Shannon just showed up. All right, all right. So we got another chief candidate here. So it's two of us.
Pen and paper?
Pen and paper. I got paper. I'll see if I got a pen.
I'll find a pen.
Oh, I've got notes on it.
Thank you.
Paper. All right, all right. The leaders should be there, and they want to get in. Yo, yo. You got that right. Just start, bro. How are they gonna make it if chief and council? As the chief or council, if they can't make time to one of these. Oh, tell them, tell them. Word though, word. What's up? Yeah, no, we are actually live right now. Saying, look at just putting him on blast. Jazzy, yeah. Tell him, yeah, keep him accountable, right? Right on. Okay, all right. You know what? We're gonna get going. Yeah, we'll get this started. Okay. Starting. Okay.
Yeah. Same old. We'll just explain the rules and we get started.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people of Keys, welcome to the Regina Open Platform. We are also live, so shout out to our live members that are watching online. We're going to stick to a tight schedule due to we only have this building until 10 p.m. So we'll have to really narrow down your speeches to the 5-minute mark. If you're hit the 5-minute mark, we're going to have to stand up and put, sit you down, okay? Okay. So we won't actually just sit you down, but we'll have to stop your speech so you can have a few minutes for questions, and then we're going to keep it going, okay? So we're going to start with the council. So Jerry's going to be my enforcer. He's going to help enforce the 5-minute rule with me. And Kim. Okay. All right. So you guys want to switch it up? We can definitely switch it up. So open to change, being open-minded is a good thing. So we just got requested to start with the Chiefs. So myself and Shannon are present, and I can start. All right. So I guess I'm going to start. Do you want the Chiefs 5 minutes as well, or do you want 15? Okay. So you see that, guys? You just got to roll with the punches. No, I got to go. Okay. All right. Well, it's good to be here. I got to move this timer down so you can see it. It's good to be here, and it's good to continue these live open forums. I'm Jay-Cee for the Regina members that are here and online. I am running for the chief position for our reserve. I believe that I feel called to be running for this position. I feel like for myself, I have the knowledge and experience to bring a new mindset and a new way to lead our people, a way that's not discriminating between families, that's all inclusive, and it's unifying. I feel that in the end, we shouldn't be judged by our last names. And we should all have equal opportunity on our land and actually have jobs in our land. You know what I'm saying? So going forward, I believe we should be seeking opportunity to work with partnerships in the Yorkton Tribal Councils and providing our off-reserve members opportunity to get on their feet and to get help that they need in Yorkton and Regina and Vancouver and Edmonton. A lot of what has been said with our members in these different cities, different locations, is that they just need support, they need help, and they ask a lot around election time is because they expect money at election time, and that shouldn't be a time to be just giving out money and receiving money. Their help should be all year around, and be available to them and have these supports for them, both in Yorkton and Edmonton, Regina, Winnipeg, Brandon, wherever we can provide. And so, as a leader, I believe going forward, we should stand together, utilizing our experiences together, our knowledge, and the people that we know. Because I know my hand, I know only so many people. I know a few people at IS that can help out and reach out and provide programming and funding services. But also at the same time, maybe Shanna might know some people, maybe Jerry might know some people. But that's the purpose of good leadership, is to utilize all of our people and their knowledge and their experience and and what they know. And we have some beautiful opportunities ahead of us with also one of our band members and what they provide, some healing for people to get off these
drugs and like land-based healing. I know Richard is present and he can probably speak on that, on like the land and what he has to offer around key reserve. Going forward, feel free to come sit and find a seat. We have some open chairs here. There's some more band members just showing up. And so going forward, I know I've posted, I'm very transparent with what I bring. I've posted online everything I want to different in health, economics, governing act, election act, elder council, youth recreation. I have this all posted online on my page for all members to see, even the other candidates to see, because I feel like hiding information is not the way to move forward. I believe it being transparent and sharing your ideas and your thoughts is a good way to move forward. And so I posted everything online. I'm not hiding nothing to nobody, you know. And so if you want to see my plan, I posted all my notes that I've collected, and obviously I'm collecting more notes as I go along, because the more voices I hear, the more of the vision I can cast. So the more you share your voice, the more I can share it with others and get the funding that we need to help our people and assist our people, right? So going forward in the next little bit here, we have a small stretch here called June 12th. Vote Jay-Cee Brass for chief. May the best of luck to the rest of our council and candidates that are running. And keep me in your prayers and our community in your prayers, and then we do this peacefully and moving forward, change the way things are done in the next election. So, Chief McWage, many thanks. Yes. And I'll save some time for some questions. I want to read the questions. If there's any questions online, any in-house questions. I know some members just got here, but if you have any questions you also would like to ask, feel free to ask.
Jay-Cee, what's your administration that looks for this?
If I'm elected chief, I feel, if I'm elected chief, administration, I feel we should just take a look. I don't want to be one to display fear. I'm a man, I walk in love, and I feel like we should analyze our administration, see what's been done, and see how we can move forward in hiring maybe our band members, and getting more of our own people in the office. But that's not to say just to fire these people. You have to look at what the body of work has been done, and if they have not met our standard of work, then we will have to move on from certain administration, right? So please, that's how I envision it, and that's how I know our band members want our own people employed. So that's how we're going to analyze the situation and move on there.
I got another question. Who's your council?
Council, I don't have a council that I'm running with. There might be some council that I would likely have an ideally in there, obviously. But I'm running solo independently as a chief. That's the whole purpose of these open forums, to have to share your platform and make the best and to share your ideas and your vision, and that way our band members can see everybody speaking to select and have a honest their vision and what they see of that candidate forward.
Question. What is your plan for the PHL interest?
The PHL interest. So that's solely for our band members. I feel I've heard a few different ideas on the PHL. I'm more of a man that would just bring it to our community and discuss what generally what they want to do. I hear some just do a whole big payout, big payout, and I hear some do invest more, or or do like have bigger Christmas bonuses. So in the end, I feel like just bringing it to the community is the best answer. I don't want to decide that. I'd rather have our community decide on what to do with PHL.
Um,
That's a great idea. Actually, even having a committee too, just like that, an idea brought forth, and why not? So if you having brought forth an idea of having a PHL committee, and why not? We could have a PHL committee, and it actually makes it a lot easier for leadership to just have the committee maybe and discuss and all the members. Also, with regarding PHL, I've had an idea I've talked about earlier in the live is developing our own platform to communicate amongst each other, because not everybody has Facebook, not everybody has TikTok, not everybody has YouTube. But if we have our own platform where we can all just access our treaty number or whatever, that we can actually have these discussions that online on an open platform. Where it's just not a secure location online, right? Oh, Key First Nation.
well, depending on the volume and the can't hear people talking. So,
Okay, keeps cutting it out.
Nothing. That's it.
That's
Just
all
a
it?
lot of cutting out and
That's probably the sound. The sound is because like there's just chairs moving and stuff, and it's kind of close to the laptop. That's probably why the sound is probably right now.
yeah,
Normally I would have it on a phone, but
it keeps cutting in and out. A couple people said already.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll fix that maybe. Okay, so just maybe take a little 5-minute break here.
All right, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break and fix this up.
Good evening, my name is Esther Pepperwash, producer for Veteran Tony. I said I did this in Vancouver, I did in Edmonton, you probably keep hearing it, but for me, I'm a mother of 6 children, I lost 2 children. I have 26 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren, 2 and what I want to do, education for me is the most important thing for me. The education. I believe in education, and I believe we have to get our young people educated and their jobs, to get jobs, and move forward in life. And I know it's hard for the PSC on the living allowance to live on. It's hard for rent, looking at rent and parking, gas. Register their cars. Sorry, I'm kind of, I'm thinking of that hollow. Anyway, I got a snake. But anyway, yeah, education for me is a big thing, and I really want to work hard on the education. And you're talking about the Palehaylands, the interest. I do believe it was mentioned in Edmonton, we got 1.6 million in December for interest on that. I do believe we took out $600,000 or $800,000 out of there for headstones, Christmas bonuses. I can't remember, but anyway, there was I think 4 or 5 things that was taken out, and I don't know. I don't know what happened to the rest. I don't know where it is. I'm not blaming. I'm not saying it's there. I'm not saying it's gone, but so that's where I'm at. And you asked about how we would distribute the Kalahaylands out was one of the questions I asked Jay-Cee. I do believe me, any kind of claim that's coming into the bank should go to the whole people. Every one of you should have a say in where that money goes. Not just chief and council. Every one of you, you're entitled to that say. And that's what I believe. What else? That's pretty much it. Land claims, I don't know where we're at our land claims. The children, the youth, we have to do something for the kids and the youth. Drugs, I'm not, I have a son that's addicted, so for me, it's hard to talk about drugs. Trying to, trying to, it's hard to try stop someone from doing drugs. Yes, there's all these resources and you can try fix the problem, but at the end of the day, it's up to the person themselves if they want to quit. Because I was there, been there, done that, and I know. And if I believe me, if I hadn't quit my drugs today, I would have been dead. Because when I was high, I wanted to be high. I wanted to fly, fly, fly. And I was an IV user. So I believe if I hadn't quit my drugs, I would have been dead a long time ago. But it was up to me because I knew I had to quit. I had to quit. I seen my children suffer. I seen them. And it just came to me that you have to quit school. That's what I did. I quit school. Drugs for me is a very hard, and I guess it's hard for me to talk about drugs because I've been there. Yes, I want to help all of you with drugs. Feel free. I'll tell you my story, how I quit, why I quit, how I started, where it all began. And I'm glad and I thank God that I'm standing here in front of you today. Thank you. That's all I have.
How would you?
That's a hard one, Shannon. Like I said, that's a hard question to do because you can get rid of the drug dealers, you can get rid of the drugs. At the end of the day, the drug addict is still going to be the reserve to find it. It's all over. So I can't say I can solve the problem of drugs on the reserve because I I don't think any of us can solve that problem. At the end of the day, like I'm saying, it's up to the person themselves if they want to quit. Period.
It's just a comment, that's it. I heard this, in the other forum, that there's no information on the current record on surrender. It's on our website. After every meeting, Roxanne posts everything that's said in that meeting.
Okay.
It's on our website.
Well, I don't go on there, so I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry. Go to the website. Any more questions? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
One second.
Oh,
Well, keep that, Michael.
Keyband.ca, you can find all the, Yeah.
Please forgive us. We didn't open with a prayer. We're gonna ask Michael to do that now.
oh.
Thanks, Mikey, for the prayer. I think that's kind of fitting for going into what I would like to say regarding my candidacy. Running for a headman or head woman for Key First Nation. Was my grandfather's Billy Manasou. He was one of the last known farmers to farm our own land on Key First Nation. My grandmother's Edith Pearl Pepperquash. I'm the oldest and only girl out of 6 kids. I have 7 children and 8 grandchildren. So I am a very strong matriarch in my family. I come from a long line of strong matriarchs. If you guys know all my aunties, you know they're very strong women. That being said, I really was humbled coming into this because over the last year, 2 years, I've seen a lot of our young youth growing up who are first-time voters, and they're really smart. We have a really smart young generation coming behind us, and I really think now is the time that that we really need to be teaching them about who we are. We have this reserve mentality, I find at times, and it's no fault of anybody's. It's the way that the history of our Nakayak people played out, what the colonizers did to us. You look back at the hundreds of years and what we've been through, they placed us in these little plots of land. They made us fall under these INAC rules. And in all actuality, I'm the type that likes to take a step back and say, okay, hey, look, we have our own inherent rights. We had God-given laws that were given to us, and we need to be starting acting on them. Coming out of this pandemic really showed the weaknesses in our community and offered her, and for me, if you see my picture on Facebook, it says strong nation and solidarity. And that's what I see he as being, is a strong nation, enacting on our own inherent rights to govern ourselves, our right to self-determination, our culture, our language, our own identity as who we are as a Nakayak people. And I think sometimes we tend to forget that when we're so caught up in all the lateral violence and all the little small fights and amongst family. I grew up on Key half my life, and I grew up in the city. So I see the both sides of the struggle. And with this pandemic, it really opened up a lot of gray areas that we have that we need to work on for our members. And a lot of the space comes back on us. There's our mental, our emotional, our physical, and our spiritual. It's like it doesn't matter our differences, what they are or how we believe. We can all work together on the same page towards the same goal. I heard somebody talking about PHL. How many years we've had PHL and the interest on it? What does he have to show for it? Like, let's be real. What do we have to show for all these millions of dollars that we've had? We have no businesses. We have no store. We don't even have a recreation director. And when I say no on and off reserve, we should know who our members are. It doesn't matter where you live. We know where you are when you want to look for your ex. So why can't we know who you are all the time? Capturing the needs, capturing those stats of what our people need. And my job as a leader is not to sit behind closed doors and decide who gets a $300 BMA. No, my job as a leader is advocating and capturing those stats of all band members of the Key First Nation and advocating and taking them to the federal and provincial level. I say this is coming from a woman because I see how ego and pride has destroyed the very foundation of who we are. And I guess that's no fault of anybody's, because you get so caught up in like the little things that you forget what the big picture is. And I heard Nolan say this in Edmonton. Really, now is the time that we need to start like cleaning up our act and really start behaving like and governing ourselves as a nation, because our people need it, and this pandemic proved it. We've had 3 house fires on Key. We don't even know who to call when there's an emergency anymore. When someone ODs, we don't even have a first responder or any kind of phone systems. We have beautiful elders from our nation. We have educated people from our nation. We don't even utilize them anymore. We're afraid of our own band members. Why? What are we hiding? You know, we want to hire band members and little puppets in the office because you don't want to know what's going on. And I know this because I worked there for 12 years. So for me, I'm coming into this with an open mind, and I'm coming this to set the groundwork and to build from the bottom up, because really that's where we're going to have to start. Where else are we going to start if we don't start from the bottom? And that's governing ourselves right. A financial act where you can't go get a $213 loan for a gas station that's supposed to be on the reserve, where you can't go and dig into PHL anytime you want for your slush fund. For all our land dollars that are going to my travel, I don't think that's fair that our land revenue should go to my travel. That's my job to find where my travel comes. So these are the things that I'm telling you now that we need to make sure that our dollars are going to where our people's needs are, and not just on or off reserve. Whether our elders need subsidy, you know, we had our own systems and ways of doing things, and until we go back to who we are and the way we governed ourselves as our solo people, then we're always going to be stuck here. And what I have 8 grandchildren now. 4 of them live on the reserve. They can't even drink the water. I worked there 8 years ago. There was blueprints for a water treatment plant. Why can't things move along without having politics all the time, sucking things dry? You know, we can't even have nothing nice. You know, build something up, let it grow, move on. Why do we have to kill everything all the time? I can't understand but that's no fault of our own, because that white man taught us, and these were never our ways, and it's never going to work. We're going to keep having ODs. We're going to keep having people in the justice system, in jails, in the corrections, because we can't look after our own, and we're the ones that were supposed to be looking after our own. So I ask tomorrow, June 12th, whenever you vote for somebody who's going to be a voice, who's going to be strong, who's going to be fighting for everybody, not just for you or you, and taking direction and can get the job done. So with that, Miigwech. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Barry.
You know, I think a couple of weeks is that the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's also showed a lot of strength on the reserve, because like I didn't know a couple of people that pulled this and nobody died, and so there was a lot of safeguarding before this. It showed us a lot of weaknesses, but it showed a lot of strength.
Yeah, sure. And I mean by weaknesses, I mean like communication, emergency life. You know, there was no set way of where people could go to ask questions, or where they could go if they needed water, or where they needed to stay in isolation. People weren't even getting food there. You know, they couldn't leave their homes or else they would have water. So there was strength because the community came together and worked together, but at the same time, it showed a lot of weaknesses and where we could. And there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, like, what can we do to make it better? You know, and looking at these programs and saying what's working, what's not, and it's okay to do that.
And the other side is also bring it to and emergency awareness. I kind of look at the fire truck. We have the 4 young guys that are responsible fires with that county. So we have to.
Oh, where's the
David, Linda, and I can see.
okay, so they attend Walmart, do they have a number, is it supposed to be the number?
They are
Well,
notified,
I can find out. I answered that on that hearing, you said, listen up. And listen, I tried calling David, I tried calling the frontline worker, Don, I couldn't get a response. You need to be real, like reality. But any other questions? Yes, Mikey. Yeah.
I just got up to
Yeah.
the young people who drive that are ready, we gotta have a vision and not have to work hard on after the 20 years and the 15 years. One health can make that vision by himself and doing all this well. You don't know what you're doing. So it has to be the vision. Whoever gets to
after 20 years, we continue that. Our store, again, was somebody's idea, was someone's idea, it doesn't matter, we work on it, but we gotta start, we gotta work together. That's just coming down, it's happening, you're gonna do my stuff like that. So we want something better now. That's just, the vision, you gotta have a vision, that's not.
And that's, but we gotta start somewhere. And like, it's just every 4 years, it just seems like we're in a cycle and there's nothing concrete there to keep people from coming in, taking the band for a ride with their own agenda and with their own vision. And that's why, like you said, we don't end up anywhere because we're not, collectively working as a nation. And even though we all have differences and whatever the case may be, we can still work towards a common goal. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. So like I
Okay, any more council members want to speak to your life
No, I'm gonna sit down.
You're good to go.
Yeah, that's it. That looks pretty good. I was told we only had 5 minutes, so I wrote my stuff down. I'm just gonna read it to you. I named my campaign Reclaiming Our Voices for a reason. Our voices, not just your voice or my voice or just one group's voice, all of our voices, all of us matter. The elder who needs help getting a medical appointment matter. The person who needs help to pay their bills at the end of the month matter. That young person trying to get into university matters. Those children who want to play sports matter. We all matter, every single one of us. I would love to share the health portfolio if I'm elected in. My background is in addiction work. I know the struggles with addiction. I have family members who struggle with addiction today. We need mental health programs set up and accessible to everyone. And we need more than one person carrying the workload. Anyone who wants, or anyone who knows me, knows I'm passionate about helping people. My goals heading into office are simple. We need to work on the water situation and key immediately. It's been on the back burner for too long. I would like to address the issue of transportation for people on reserve without vehicles. When we live on a fixed income, paying someone to take you into the city is just not feasible. Obviously, by what I'm hearing, catching up with all the education issues needs to be a priority. I would like to have a monthly meeting with all the matriarchs of each family, either in person or with the help of technology, so that we can share their families' concerns and visions. There are so many things to work on. I'm not going to stand up here and promise you that I'm going to fix everything that is broken, because I don't think any of us really know what is broken. I will stand up here and promise you that I will act with integrity. I will speak with honesty. I will ensure that chief and council work with transparency, that we work as a team, who treat each other and our people with respect. I will listen to you and you will be heard. If I don't have an answer, I will find one. I will empower the people of Key First Nation. I will help you reclaim your voice. We have a vast amount of talent within our people, and we must relearn how to tap into these resources and work as a collective. As Burton Cummins once said, you won't know me to see me, but you'll know me by what I do. We also need to explore further the achievements and the ideas that previous and present leadership has brought to us, and we must expand on these ideas and achievements and give them more traction. Comments from present leadership has proven that they started out great, but the team fell apart. This is a clear indication that we must reclaim our voices so that we can address leadership when they enter unpleasant waters. We all need to shine. Let your voice of choice consider this generation and the generation to follow. When you see my name on the ballot, put an X beside it. Thank you. I just want to say something that I've made these little business cards for my property. I live on 10 acres and I've turned it into, I've been trying to build it by myself, and I've covered a lot of ground. I've got TP set up on my property, and once again, I'm going to tell you it's open for everybody. And I want this to be part of your healing experience because it's been part of my experience, and it's worked so great for me. I find peace there, and it's all land-based, and I just find it a wonderful place to be. And the people that have been there from Key First Nation, they've enjoyed themselves there. And on June 9th, I'd like to have our next open forum there. It's a very peaceful place. It is safe, and I open up to everybody. I've got cards here. I'll just leave them on the table if you want to take one. My contact is on there. And if you want to see me on Facebook, there's a lot of pictures on their Facebook.
Oh, question.
Next year.
Yes.
Like you're looking to do the health portfolio. What is your main focus in health?
Such a big question deserves a big answer. Health goes so deep into us. As we read our history books, we understand that communities working together and having the matriarchs, the females, the grandmothers and stuff guide us is so important. As growing up as a child, I understood that the young women and the pregnant women were in the center of that, and the grandmothers and the council and the young men who are the warriors. That is our protection. That's how many layers we need in there to accomplish this. We need to support one another, and we cannot be afraid to approach band members or the council or the health department, knowing that we have a need that could possibly save one of our lives. We know there's a drug problem. The whole world right now is suffering greatly from drug misuse. And it's just not on First Nations communities, it's everywhere, and it's getting worse. And I believe as a collective, if we work on that same page, and I hear it from all the other councillors, all the candidates, that we must be on the same page. That's it.
Yes.
Richard, I got a comment.
Yes.
I filled in for you as a community navigator. And how long were you at that position?
4 months.
4 months. And it was 4 months. You didn't leave much of a paper trail there.
There's a report in the office.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that office. I've never seen that report. Everything that I've done as a community navigator was from the ground up. I filled in for 2 prior navigators, right? And they didn't leave much of a paper trail. I appreciate the survey that you did. You got from the doctor. It was informative, but is this the kind of work we're going to get from you as a counselor?
I brought the report into the office. I don't know what happened to it. But I could probably go over my computer. We can sit down. We can see if we can dig it up again. Yes.
I'm just wondering, when were you the navigator?
It's been over 2 years. And I got asked to do it, and I don't know how many times I refused it because I had a full-time job. I got offered it. I don't even know if I got voted. I was just approached. Would you like to do this? Because no one else was applying. Who was I approached from? From a few council members and the director of operations.
Who's the director of operations?
Joanne Griffith.
So she has the report.
I don't know who has the report anymore. Yeah. And council members.
So nothing was posted on that?
I don't know what was posted, and
Well, you had no way of pre-sending your resume. There's a deadline date. That's how most employment things are.
yeah, from what I understood was told to me is that no one was taking up the job, and I was approached.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you talk about what is broken, that is some of the things that are broken at the Key First Nation. Things are not posted, you know, and they're just given to either who's in at the day.
Right.
You know.
And I think that's where we need to have our website updated constantly so that everyone is informed.
When it comes to people like Juan Griffith, you know, calling the shots for our people, I don't think that they should be doing that.
Well, I agree with you. Any other questions?
I got one. So I was the navigator before him. I did develop a community plan, which was helped compiled by Urban Systems, and we had actually had like a pretty thick document in economics, health, education, and everything. So he would have actually had that unless Joanne Griffith just got rid of it. But the reality is that document was what was this? You know, collecting all of our voices.
Yeah.
So she got rid of it. If he didn't have nothing to work on, that's on Joanne Griffith.
Yeah, I had nothing.
But let's just face
Yeah.
it, we've got an election act sitting there for how many years and all these other things. Like how many, probably 10 community plans by now? And we're, like, it just gets, this is what I'm saying, it gets lost, it gets full of dust, no one wants to work on it.
Yeah.
We need people who are actually gonna work.
So whoever the next community planner is, they should work on the election act and start that. And work with all the reserve people so they can get it done.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go, how are you?
Yeah,
You know, but just working together, like, you know, we're not here to attack you, but
Yeah.
we want to find the solutions that are gonna work for everybody. And
Yeah,
at least we gotta
yeah.
work together, right? Like, that's the only way we're gonna move forward.
And I see that as a collective, right? It's like having an open door. It's like, let's put everything on the table and let's sort through it so that we can start getting to the places that we want to be.
Okay, so I forgot to ask the question. So you didn't, there wasn't a document, right? Or
I
was there?
saw nothing.
See, here you go. It was lost. I did have something. I presented it to chief and council. So the leadership that's in there, I did present it to you guys. And it was, I had a full document displayed that what the community wanted, their plan. So if it wasn't there when he got hired, or Jerry, yeah.
We start so many projects over because the information we gather is lost somewhere and we don't know where it's lost.
Well, maybe Dawn took it.
You mean my brother? Yes, Ivy.
Well, it was presented, it was just one or there was copies of it.
Copies? There should have been copies.
It was presented to the chief
Yeah,
council of
yeah.
the day, they must have a copy.
Yeah.
I sat in one of the meetings. They go through a lot of documents, and it may have been misplaced, who knows, right?
I just want to make a comment, any kind of official document like that should be uploaded to the website.
Oh, I agree, yeah. Yes.
Why do you have your thing not for sale?
I've been approached several times already by telephone, by text messages. I will vote for you if you give me some money. And I'm tired of answering that question and saying, I'm not for sale. Anything else?
That's good.
So that's what I'm saying, like, for the next, we have to do it, to preserve our, we have to change the election act. It's not gonna be chief and council, it's gonna be us.
Thank you.
So we're gonna all have to together to change it, right? That's all I have to say. I'm not running, I'm just saying.
Darn right, so after that. Okay, where do you want me to go? Okay, I'm not gonna cover over, we have lateral violence going on within our communities, and yes, I am an educated woman. And yes, I ran 3 organizations. I had a fleet of vehicles, I had a fleet of staff, I had brought it to, with my leadership and my teamwork, I brought it to CARF accreditation. If you want to look under what CARF accreditation means, it's an international a company that goes around to different First Nations or the hospitals and all that, and it shows you that you've got all your policies and procedures in place. You know, and that I can do. I can help our First Nation. I'm running for election. I've never been given the opportunity to be a counselor. This is, my first time, I think. No, I ran before with under Campbell, and I ran for chief 4 years ago. And what is broken? What is broken? Like picking up from Richard's thing is our election. I hear our in Edmonton that they got money, and here to run this election, to buy your votes or to give out money, and we do not have any money to give out. We have to pay for our own meeting rooms and stuff like that. I thank everybody that helped out. We have to pay our own gas funds to go around and campaign. And I want this noted as well, the money that you get from Doug Will to give people to buy your votes or to buy your way into the election, that comes off our land money. Doug Will is a farmer that pays to rent our lands, the Key-Band First Nation lands. I want you all to understand that. So when they're giving you 500 or whatever money it is you're getting for your vote, you are getting some of that revenue, our land revenue, and that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. And that needs to stop. That needs to stop. That has to stop if we are going to put a good system in place for our young people. We have so much young people on the First Nation that are smart, that are getting educated, and they're there. Like, look at the young people here that are here. I'm old, I'm getting ready, but I want to leave something for our people. I want to dust that education policy off. I want to take a look at our membership act as well. Like those things have to be revised and updated, and I'm not gonna look at that election act by myself. I plan to have a committee. The other thing that I wanna promote for myself is to be an off-reserve counselor, because I live off the reserve. I know what it is to pay for my rent, pay for this, pay for that. I don't run to the band office. You know, I got funding from the band office a year ago when we had our ball tournament. I didn't ask for it. My sister Ivy come and told me they're gonna give you money for that. I just, holy crap, I've never ever got anything for ball tournament, you know, but I'm thankful. I am thankful I got it. I got all my family members to sign this postcard and send it to the band office to say that I was thankful for that. I really was, because I never get anything. Really, I never get anything. I know how it is to be discriminated. You know, I do. I know how it is to be discriminated by the system and my own people. And my own people, I know how it is to be discriminated. You know, and another thing, the other things that I want to work on is our own Child Welfare Act, taking control. You know, when Bill C-92 came into effect in 2019 like that, we still don't even know where we're at. If you ask any of the previous chief and council right now, how many children do we have in care? How many children do we have off the reserve? How many foster homes do we have? They won't give you an answer because they do not know. You know, they do not know. I know that for a fact. You know, and like, it's just not there. I took chief and council to set up a meeting with a lawyer in Winnipeg. Well presented from how we can get our own child welfare. But in that meeting, after it was over, we had our present leaders fighting and disputing in that office. And these are the leaders we have today, you know, and we have to give opportunity for these young people that are running for chief. I don't know who's going to get in, you know. I have 3 brass people running in, you know, Glenda, Usu Brass, Jay-Cee Brass, Shannon Brass, you know. Those are all my relatives. You know, even Glenda's my relative. Or, you know, it's Glenda, right? Yeah. You know, she called me. I wanted to go around with Glenda to introduce her to people. You know, we had a conversation like that. So, like, these are things that, as a counselor, there are things that I can get done, really, because I worked on things to get things in the agencies that I represented, and I worked with big budgets, and I worked with staff. Like I did, I worked with 2.3 million, 3-point-some million as I ran those organizations with those staff. So I know what it is to be responsible, to bring things to the table. And we didn't argue and dispute things at that table. If we didn't agree, we talked. Everybody presented their ideas. Not like we've seen, you know, the fighting that's taking place besides our present leaders today. Thank you.
Questions for Eleanor? Eleanor online says, what makes you different or unique apart from past counselors or other counselors before you?
I can get the job done. I've been an executive director for almost 20 years. And an executive director is just almost like a chief in itself, because you have to be responsible for funding. You got to be, and you have to even negotiate with the government. You got to talk with the ministry. You got to talk with Indian Affairs. You got to talk to Child's Advocate's Office and advocate for children. You know, yeah, and you can phone any of those organizations and ask them. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not perfect, and I don't know everything. The things that I didn't know, I hired people to help us, to bring us to be top organization. That's the skill that I have.
question directed, you could also direct it to anyone else who's got a master's or doctorate or diplomas or certificates. Do you feel like your education belongs to just you?
Yes, it does. I worked hard for that. I worked hard to do my papers. I worked hard, I studied for my exams, I worked hard for that. But now to give it back, do you think my First Nation gave me an opportunity to come back and do that? No, Eleanor acts too good, Eleanor's this, Eleanor's that. I had to go out of my community to help other First Nation, you know, to build up. They had nothing there, they had nothing in child welfare, but I had to go in and help them.
How can we change that attitude or atmosphere that more educated people would flow through us?
Invite them to help us. You know, we're talking about an election night. You know, we have Carrie Osu, who's an election person. We have Myrna Osu, who's election. They're into elections. We can get them to the table. They're experts. I'm not an expert at that, but we can get them at the table and have a committee. You know, those are what we need to help. And just in Edmonton, some of the brass boys were there. Those were my relatives that lived off the reserve for many years, and they're so skilled in building, carpentry and building, you know. We can have them come to the First Nation and help us instead of hiring people off the reserve. And you should see some of the work that's put into our homes. It's not satisfactory because nobody's checking into that, you know. Yeah. Go ahead, Jerry.
You say, keep as every given opportunity. Are you not working for the band right now?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
But I need to let you know
Thank
about
you.
that too.
I
Yeah.
just asked that question you didn't answer.
Yeah.
The other question is, are you telling us here that if somebody donated $20,000 to your campaign, you would not take that? You would
It
not
was
use that?
never offered.
There's a conflict of interest when the donation is
No,
coming
no,
from
no,
the
no.
person
No,
that's
it's
renting
my
land from
It's my question, okay?
conflict of interest.
Are you saying that you wouldn't take that money, if a donor give you $20,000 to run your campaign, you wouldn't use it?
I don't know, Jerry, I'd have to think about that.
Okay,
Wait a
thank
minute. Yeah, not to jeopardize my character reference, my character. Because I'm standing honest woman, and I don't know if I would use
I'm
that.
not questioning that.
Yeah.
I'm asking you a question, if you would accept that or not.
No, I wouldn't.
Thank
No,
you.
I wouldn't, yeah.
Question from online. My question is, for many years, as long as I can remember, CNC have always have these speeches talked about change, but nothing was ever done. What makes this year different or any different from the past? We see a lot of the same people running and getting in, then never talking to the people only once a year to give Xmas bonuses.
For myself, I have hope because there's young people that are running. Young people are wanting a change now. It's not just me. The young people that are wanting a change, that's to see the way that it is. You know, really, and these off-reserve people, I wish you would go and sit at the band off and just see how we operate. You know, like we heard the complaints about nobody answering the phone, you know, at the band office. We have issue of running water, and yet they're on the blueprints that were there 8 years ago. And what do we have? Still, we have we still don't have good running water. You know, and when I was running as chief, I went and met with Rodney, and he was telling me what was left there for that, like for the water. Yeah. So yeah. Well, any more questions? Remember, my name is Eleanor Brazel, or Eleanor Brazel. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So it's 8:45. We have till 10, this room till 10. We're going to stick to the 5 minutes and then only like 3 questions, okay? So make them good questions per council or per candidate, okay? All
Okay,
right.
next candidate, Glenn, you wanna get up there? Sure. Go ahead.
No, let them.
Good.
I'll let you go. I just want to start out by saying I'm happy to be here and glad to see people coming out to the forum. I don't know if everybody here knows Glenn Pepquash. I'm running in this this election. I hear what a lot of the previous candidates are saying, and I can agree with a lot of the stuff that's been said. I think for myself, I wasn't gonna run. I went out to the nomination meeting, just drove with my mom, and when I went out there, I had absolutely no intention of running. And people asked me to run. People were offering to help pay my candidate's fee. So when the people call your name, I think you got to stand up and answer the call. I was a leader before. I was on council for 4 years, 2 terms, a total of 4 years back when I was pretty young. I came into it pretty naive. I'll admit that. I thought that I would get a lot done. I was hoping to get a lot done, but reality set in, and the main undercurrent I'm hearing from all the candidates and from people is about working together. And just from what I've seen growing up on the reserve, I lived there the majority of my life. That's our exact problem, is we just can't seem to work together. Especially under our old election, the old election cycle where it was just 2 years, you'd have the election, you'd spend about a year getting back to, getting along, trying to work with people, and then election would come up and it would start all over. And that little short 2-year cycle is what really held us back for a number of years. I heard somebody saying the other day that politicians, once they get into office, the only thing they care about is getting reelected. When I was on council being young, it was under Campbell, Papaquash. First time, the chief I was under was my Uncle Percy. My first portfolio was education. We took over the post-secondary from the tribal council. And then my next term was administration, day-to-day running of the office. But anyways, after those first 2 terms, I kind of lost the taste for it, just seeing how, people didn't want to work together. And regardless, for myself, I can honestly say this, I'll work with anybody if I'm elected into office. My phone will be on 24/7. And I love my reserve. I love the people from my reserve. That's why I'm doing this. There's no self-motivation. I shouldn't say self-motivation. I'm highly motivated, but my motivation is not to get into office and then be there for myself. When you're a leader, the people put you there, and that's who you have to answer to. And a lot of people, I think, when they get elected, they forget who put them there and why they're there, And I have a lot of ideas I'd like to implement. And a lot of the stuff we're talking about here today, we need to put into effect. We have to have voted bylaws and voted acts, Education Act, Health Act, Financial, Election Act, everything. That would cut out probably 90% of the goings on of stuff that either happens or doesn't happen in the office. And in regards to our whole nation and how we operate, if we have acts voted on by the membership, they'll be designed by the membership. That's how everything basically should be done. The people, it's all of ours. It's all of ours. It doesn't belong to any certain one individual or family or a group of families. And that's something we have to really work on. And another thing we have to do is we have to farm our own land. People have been making millions upon millions off our land. Our only real resource is our land. We have to farm that, and there's so much that could be done. Like from what we get yearly from Mine Act and from our land rental revenue, it's a pittance. It's like pennies on a dollar compared to what we can make and we should be making if we farmed it ourselves. The employment, the monies that we would make, then that would be a base for us to help everybody on and off reserve, because as it stands now, the monies that we get from INAC, those are strictly for on reserve. The majority of our dollars is, but But the money that we get off the land, that's the money that can be spread out off reserve, on reserve. And I know from a very reliable source, this is about 10, 12 years ago, Doug Will in 1 year made $6.2 million profit off our reserve in 1 year, you know, and that was 10, 12 years ago. So anyways, I'm willing to work with anybody and everybody, and I ask for your support, and I'm a tireless worker. I'll be there for each and everybody here today, regardless of who gets in. Even if I don't get in, I'll always be there for people, man. That's, you know, like I said, I love my reserve, I love the people, and that's why I'm doing it. Thanks.
3 questions.
If you get in for council, like, what portfolio would you want to work for?
I myself, I would really love to work in economic development. That's, you know, because the bottom line is, without money, what can you do in today's world, you know? And there's so many opportunities in business off the reserve, like of businesses we could start, own, help our people start, you know, like with the land claim coming up. We have the Pelly. I'll just put this a little simple scenario to you. If you took, we're roughly what, 1,400 people in Keys. If you bought in 1,400 immigrants from any third world, second world country, you gave them our land base, our yearly budget, and our Pelly Haylands money, in 5-10 years they'd be a powerhouse. They would be running things in the area, you know. Everybody, every single person would own their own home, you know, without a doubt. You guys know this too, how people, when they come into our country, they work, they come here without a dollar in their pocket, no contacts, really no support, and they all bunch together, they live in one house, everybody kicks in, they pay off that mortgage, they move on to the next one, and they do that. And I know of groups of like 20, 25 people in immigrant families that within 10 years, 15 years, their houses are bought and paid for, lock, stock, and barrel. And like I said, they come here with nothing, you know. So for me, the big driver is economic development. Okay, that's it. No questions, guys? Okay. So borrow the words from our other fellow running for council. When you see my name, put the X there. You won't regret it. Thanks for listening.
George, I'll give you signals. I'll give you 1 minute signal and then 30 seconds.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is George Smith. Those of you who don't know me, my name is George Smith. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you for listening. To all the other candidates who spoke, thank you. It's very nerve-wracking being up here, so I appreciate your confidence and your sharing and your willingness to run and speak to us. I'm learning a lot from doing this campaign. It's my first time running for council. I grew up in a political household, but it wasn't really my thing. I heard somebody ask a question, but we hear chief and council come up and talk about change and new ideas and this and that, and then it's just always the same thing. I don't know exactly why that is, but I know for myself personally, I felt the need to run for council because when I came back to the nation as a grown man who had some life experience all over Western Canada and in the north, I was, to be quite frank, I was ashamed of the state of our nation. It's really saddening. It's really disheartening. I was eye-opening to my little boys. I have 2 little boys, and so we couldn't stay out there for a variety of reasons. I live in Saskatoon now. I work full time. I do have a couple of little businesses and such. So I really don't need to be a counselor. My life is okay, but I see my people struggling. I see our people struggling, and I think I can help with that. I have a good work ethic. I'm able to work. I enjoy working. I'm very goal orientated. I like setting goals and I like accomplishing goals. I don't like being stagnant. It's an uncomfortable feeling for me. Growing up, I was made to work. So in reality, actually, when I'm not working, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. I feel like I'm going to get a whack in the back of the head or get yelled at. So that's just who I am and how I am, though. And if you guys do elect me as counselor, I will work. I take that very seriously. I'll be very honored. And it's actually a little bit anxiety-inducing the thought of the responsibility of being a counselor. In my eyes, it's a very important job, being a leader, being elected. Growing up, I was taught that and told that. So it is a little nerve-wracking thinking about, if I am elected and such, but that pressure though and those nerves will definitely inspire me and motivate me to work hard for you guys, to answer questions, to attend meetings, to go above and beyond in my job and the duties that are required for me. I heard a lot of people asking about portfolios, what portfolio you would like. I think as counselors, we should be aware of all portfolios. Our counselors should be aware of what's going on with our nation. We should be able to ask any counselor, and they should be able to give you somewhat of an answer. Obviously, each counselor should have their own specialty. I can talk all night, so I only have 5 minutes. So I wrote a couple of things down that I'd like to talk about, so I might kind of jump all over, but I want to say these things. I think transparency is very important. We should all know what's going on. I think the philosophy of our nation and our people has gotten so twisted that sometimes when we're transparent, people get defensive about it. If we share information, it looks like we're talking bad about somebody, but I don't think that's the case. I think we should all have the information. Sometimes it's sensitive, and if we're doing wrong, then, yeah, it sucks to get caught if you're doing wrong. That's the truth. I understand that, so just don't do wrong. It's that simple. Another thing that I'd like to see is a connection to our off-nation members. Majority of our members are off-nation. We have the technologies now to, with a click of a mouse, connect with people. This young man here is putting all the live streams on. A lot of the elders I speak to, they don't know how, but their grandchildren, their nieces and nephews are showing them, and I think that's just so awesome. So thank you for that, Jay-Cee. Accountability. I know a lot of times it's been so accepted. When people steal, you hear like, oh, well, the last chief and council did it. The last one, everybody steals. It's just like accepted. It's accepted. I think there needs to be some sort of disciplinary action for when people are doing wrong, especially our leaders. There's a lot of power, and with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility. And there should be some sort of consequences if they're abusing that power, I think, or if I'm elected. I think we need to urbanize our nation. And what I mean by that is we need to have key First Nation land in cities, in places where we can have economic development. Having a store will be beneficial for people socially, but on a financial aspect, we don't have the numbers. We don't have the people coming through our nation that we're going to have a booming store that's going to really generate income for us. I am all for this. I'm all for a store, but I think that's more just to help our people so we can have food, so we can have food, milk, bread, eggs, things like that. I think we need to utilize our qualified members. We have a lot of smart people from our nation. A lot of them leave the nation, that's the truth. They get educated, they get skills, they want to work, and so they leave. Even a lot of the candidates running are extremely smart. I'm learning a lot from just them talking, and it's actually really disheartening to hear that they don't get an opportunity to help our nation. You don't have to be a chief or counselor to help our nation. As a matter of fact, most of the successful people you see in the world, they hire individuals that help them achieve that success. So we need to work with and hire people who are qualified. And I see Jay giving me the signal here. So with that though, please support me if you want to talk to me. I can give you my number, my email, my Facebook, anything. I'm on the internet, all that. In the words of Richard, I'm going to steal your line, Richard. When you see my name, you put the X beside it.
We have time for two questions. All right. Good job, Trish. You're good.
I heard you speak the other night and how you've actually captured the global market with your business. You're selling dogs all over the place, right? And with that expertise, we can really use that because we're a nation that we want to be recognized on the other side of the globe in Japan. When you hear the key First Nation, it's like, we know these people. And that's what I would like to see. I think you can help us with that.
Yeah, I'll touch on that quickly. I had a friend, he was a white man, but he actually passed away because of opioids. So we can relate to that, our people. But he was a very, very successful man. And he actually spoke to me about an idea about native art. There's no natives in the world. Natives are only in North America. So people in Japan, people in Europe, people in Australia, people in Africa, they want native culture. So we could have our artists paying our artists to do art and shipping it across the world. We'll make a website, people in Japan can order it. They pay big dollars for Indian culture on the other side of the world. So we have the people, we have the skills to do something like that. We could be a global market very easily. You know, I see some of our people, some of our great artists are on the streets, they're struggling, you know, from addiction or trauma, generational trauma from residential schools. We can employ them and empower them, and they could be global artists selling art all over the world.
Oh, last question, sorry, online.
Do you believe doing investment in stocks would be something that First Nations should do or could do?
I 100% believe that. Thank you for asking that question. It's something I actually wanted to address. I'll use a quick example. I know we're running out of time. So money over time loses value. That's the truth. Ask any of our elders when they were young, they could go to the store with $1, buy a pop, chips, and a comic. What can you do with $1 nowadays? Exactly. So $20 million in 2008 when we got our Pelly Haylands, that's amazing, that's good. But that $20 million realistically is not as valuable today as it was 20 years ago. But if we would have bought, let's just say, so I can keep it real basic and simple. If we would have bought 10 stocks for $10 each, worth $1 in a bank, in the airline, and something that's going to grow, something that's not going to, not a high risk stock. And now fast forward 20 years, 30 years, each one of those stocks now, instead of being worth $1, is worth $10. So now we can sell those stocks in from that $10, now we have $100. Okay, and that's called money working for us. It's not actually working, it's not trying to build something and go to work and such. Risking, you know, if we build a hotel, that could cost millions. If the hotel doesn't work, well, that's just all lost money. If we invest in proper stocks, low risk stocks, our nation's not going anywhere. We don't have to invest in high risk stocks where we're risking our money, and we have enough money that a small percentage is still going to be lots of money for us. So yes, Shannon, great question.
Yeah, I've heard communities that are going that way, even like Bitcoin mining.
Bitcoin currency, yeah, it's oh yeah, that's a great question. Great question.
Mike,
Okay, so I know this number, but it's really important because I think for any kind of investment, I think it's not just for you, it's for anybody that has an idea or a vision. You know, I think what you guys should have to do is to put that information out there and get at least a 70% yes on it, any kind of a decision in your people. Is this deal you're gonna go or in stocks? Put it out there and give your people an option to vote on it.
Yeah, I
You know,
100% agree with people, yeah.
voting on an idea and then we don't know anything about it, eh?
For 100%, like that goes with the transparency, and also with investing dollars, there's people who make a living doing that. They're qualified, they're expertise, they have a resume, they have a track record, they go to companies, they invest their money, they make money. We should hire someone like that. I don't know how to invest money. I do have a little bit of personal stocks, nothing big, but I don't want to take our money, our millions of dollars, and try to go and make an investment. We would hire someone who's qualified. Maybe we have a member who's qualified, and that's what they went to school for, and that's what they do. So,
okay.
Great question.
So this is like one of the first questions, but it got overdrummed. So make this one a quick, kind of a quick answer, okay? So do your best. Hello, question. What about submitting criminal records? Most often in urban cities or surrounding areas, employment requirement to submit a criminal record when working with persons. What are your thoughts? Should CNC submit criminal records?
I'm all for that. I mean, transparency, I think that goes to transparency. I'm no saint. In my younger days, I made some bad decisions. So I do have a criminal record. I'm not proud of that, but that's almost public information. I'm sure with a couple of clicks on the internet, you can find that. I've changed my life around completely though. I no longer do that kind of stuff. Just on topic though, I've never stolen. That's something I do not do. You can check my criminal record on that if you like. I did make some bad decisions when I was young, anger-based decisions, violent-based decisions. But I've attended counseling, and I've done what I needed to do to change my life around that. And I think that everyone could benefit from trying to heal their life and make better decisions. And I think with just criminal records, transparency, I'm all for transparency. I think that's beneficial for us. We try to hide too many things or keep things in the dark.
Good job, Jay.
Oh, sorry. Kim, I did not look at you.
I'll give you 1 minute and then start to.
1 minute.
Or, no. I'll give you the 1 minute signal. I'll give you that signal when it's one. No, when it's one.
Okay. Some of you may not know me, but most of you do. I am Kimberly Kashane from the Key First Nation, strong and proud, and I'm gonna say this loud and proud. Okay? Okay, this, like hearing everybody's speeches and everything, it's very awesome, we are all leading into the right direction. We all want that change. We all want to grasp that new way of life, new way of living, all this, what do you call it? I don't want to say crookedness of mind balance. like get out there, I'm out here. I put myself out there to speak and stand up for my people. As a young mother of 7, I know it's hard at times, but I do what I can for them, to survive, to make their days, they're all in recreational activities around the reserve. And that's costly, that costs lots of money to take them, register them, their fees, gas, all that kind of stuff. If we implemented a program for youth recreation dollars on and off reserve, because I know in Vancouver, my auntie was saying she would like to get her daughter into dance, but no income, no supports, no help for that. That's one of my main things is for the youth and education, bringing in trades and skills, all that for the people on and off reserve. There's programs out there. If we can fully fund you to attend and show up for those programs, get everything going. That would be great, like how much more trades and skills we can get people educated and do, like we said, we need houses, carpentry, that's a trade, bring carpentry trades to the reserve for all the young people out there, even older ones that want to learn and be a part of it. Also with our language, bringing back our language, our traditional ways, our traditional teachings, that's a big thing for me as well. And as all of you guys know, the housing on the reserve is very poor. It's like poorly run. Like going into molded homes, you can walk and feel that smell, feel it on your chest right away, like, because I do. I walk into my own home, I smell sewage and mold. My kids live in that, and they get sickly yearly off of that. Also, why not have a vote on our money and fucking bring these dollars and build tents, houses, ground up, utilize our people, you guys. Sorry my French. But it's for real, it's coming from the heart, it's what I believe, and that's what I'm gonna stand up for, okay? That's what I want. Those are main reasons I chose to run, and I'm out here humbly asking for your guys' support because I'm there. I'm going to stand up for each and every one of you on and off reserve. I have a voice and I'm afraid to use it. And yes, so please vote for Kimberly Kashane tomorrow. And vote for me. and June 12th. With that, thank you.
Okay, question for Kim. If elected, what's your first steps about the non-band members working at the office and the key band members that are working there and never at work, getting full paychecks?
Well, that's what George said, transparency. Everybody needs to be, you want a job, you got to be accountable, you got to be responsible enough to show up and work for your job. You're getting paid full hours. Why not be there those 8 hours?
Good to go. Fueled up.
Good evening, everyone. I was thinking, well, what did I say? I said the same thing in Vancouver and in Edmonton. So I'm just going to say that I do promote education. I'm educating myself. I've seen on Facebook or people have told me that there's comments that nobody in Chief and Council is educated. Well, that's not true. Anyhow, I do promote the master's program. I wanna see that take off because we've got so many young people today that have finished university and they'd like to take a master's program, however, there's just no dollars available, so they have to take out a loan for that. I'd like to see that go for sure. And, what else I wanna do? I'd just like to say also, if you don't have the, you could get the table for 4 years, if you don't have that support at the table, you're not gonna go anywhere. You've got to have that support of your council members if you are the chief. And if you don't, well, what can you do? The lady that we had there before, I never voted to have her there, I never wanted her there. However, there's other members that wanted her there, so that's what we got. Anyways, I just want to say that I'd like another 4-year term, so I'd like you to vote for me. Thank you. Any questions?
Just I asked just a couple of, like, you've been in council now for how many years?
10 years.
What's one thing out of all your time in office you can say you've left behind for our grandchildren?
That I've left behind for my grandchildren?
Yeah, that's something that you've done that's gonna be there for generations to come, because that's a long time, 10 years, so, yeah, what's something you're proud of?
What is there something that I've done? Well, I guess I don't think I've accomplished anything, really. However, from all the chiefs and council all over Canada, that's all I hear people is complaining about chief and council. Chief and council, they spend, right to Ottawa to Vancouver, they spend all the money, we get nothing, okay? That is what I've heard. Does chief and council spend all the money? I don't think so. I've never spent any of the money. And I can honestly say that I'm an honest person. I work hard for my money, and I have never stolen any money.
I wasn't insinuating that you stole, I just asked.
I know, but I guess it's just my integrity.
If there's something that you've done that you're proud of in office that you.
I would say it's my integrity being on council, that I've never been persuaded to do anything that I wasn't entitled to. Yes.
Gilda, in your tenure position, have you advocated for people's education?
Yes, I have.
Thank you.
Yes, I have.
I'd like to commend you for standing up for people that don't know you, as a crane.
Thank
I really want to say this, so thank you for being able to stand up for us. And, a lot of people don't, so I'm glad that we're going for another 4-year term, and I hope you get in.
Thank you.
Question for Gilda online. What are your thoughts about counselors having other jobs than being a counselor? We vote them in to work for us and give us 100% as leaders.
Could you repeat that again, please?
What's your thoughts about counselors having other jobs than being a counselor? We vote them in to work for us and give us 100% as leaders.
I do have another job. That's a job on the side that I do. That is secondary. Being a counselor is number one to me. I could be a lot busier at my other job, however, I choose this as to be at the forefront.
Quick question, Gilda. You said you wanted to help people with getting their masters in that?
Yes.
So I know there's a lack of funding, but how would you get the funding for that?
Well, I guess, one thing would be writing proposals. Maybe when we vote for the Pele Haylands, is talking to people and getting money out of the Pele Haylands for that particular program. Also, one of the things we did get this year is we funded 25 students, but now we're going to fund 10 more. So I mean, I believe that when the vote comes up to the Pele Haylands, that is something we can put in there, because like you say, the money's for everybody. Yes. Yes. Always have something to say? No,
I'm not standing here at all to attack you.
I know.
I'm here to show you guys that system that we've been under for I don't know how long. That's the system that's been in place, to put them there. And I don't blame chief and council, the people have to change too, you know, we put them there. You know what I mean? The system is it's so corrupt, you know? And that's why I said, like, I don't understand it, you know? Yeah, I said I would only ever run if we changed it to where there was integrity and order, but there's none in there anymore. You know, so like, I don't blame the people that, you know, nothing's happened, like, even when sitting them where there, nothing happened, you know what I mean? It's a system that works against us. So once we put our own initiatives in there, our own, you know, our own Indian stuff in there, you know, we can probably do a lot better. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, thank you, Gilda. I think.
Good evening, everyone. Let me ask you this question. So how do you guys like the open forum? Here, who's all running, you know, and that's a change for us. And that's a good change, you know. And the young people, you know, listening to the young people, and they'd like to see change too. This young gentleman here, he has a powerful voice, smart, educated, everything. But I want to tell you why I'm running. All the ones that did their speech before, you know, they're legit, all their concerns. You know, we live in the community, we see them, we live it, we breathe it, you know, everything. Cannot, all of them, they're legit. I feel emotional and, but, you know, change, at times we could say we change ourselves, but now I can understand it more as I got older, what the young people are talking about, you know, what they're needing, what their needs are for our community. They want to see it prosper. You know, they want to see it prosper, like have businesses. They want to see it prosper, you know, and in our community to have where they're gonna have our name, the Key First Nation, you know, on a wall somewhere where, you know, it's gonna be recognized and we're all gonna be proud of it. We're all gonna be proud of it. And that's what I support. And, you know, I was council before, you know, and I was just kind of the follower and, you know, the agreeer. And, but, you know, I have a voice. A few years back, I did, I came back to council. I was gone for 4 years, and I realized like, you know, I had a voice. I could speak. I could speak on issues now, you know, and you know, and it's okay to agree to disagree. But I just want to say this is not personal. This is business we're talking about. This is not personal, it's business. We all want something for our community. You know, it's kind of sad, this young lady, she messaged me, she said, I got fired. You know, sometimes they still do that, you know, people off the reserve, they'll text me, they want something and my go-to person, whom I always go to, who understands and who helps. And I always, you know, I always take my, put that there. And you know, I asked her, well, was this legit, you know, why you got fired? And like, you know, what does it say in the policy, you know, why she got fired? But I never heard back from her. I kind of felt sad. But anyways, she was a staff because at a meeting, you know, asking questions and concerns because she had questions and concerns, you know, about maybe what she needed or wanted in the community. But the real reason I'm running, I want my house fixed. No, I've been waiting my windows, you know, over the years. Like my late mom, she wanted her house fixed, her doors, you know, but I'm finally getting there. I finally, you know, I was seeing these houses get fixed, And I'm saying, well, where's mine? You know, when you fill out, YTC comes and does the inspection, and I took it there. They took it, you know, and I was wondering, well, what's wrong with my house? How come it's not getting fixed, right? So I asked Clarence, and so I went to go check, well, where's my inspection? So she looked for it, and she was going over it. But this kind of hit me there at the band meeting 3 weeks ago, so we had it. And that old DOE was saying, you know, we should fundraise to fix our homes. I'd be fundraising till I'm 70 to get all what I need done, you know, but like, but those are some of the things, like you heard it before, you know, the home smoke, the smell, you know, things like that. But those are some of the concerns, you know, you heard them, the Election Act, you know, things like that need to get done. I was there when it started. You know, we went all over again. There was some things that needed to be changed, and you know, and it was legit. And I remember this one thing that was in there was the cost for a council and chief and a council to pay. And then I see at the time they called it INAC. They said no, we couldn't put a dollar figure on when we run for chief or council, but now today they tell us we have to, but they'd probably get those things from the Elections Act, you know, when people, you know, okay.
Okay. Question for Ivy. In your own words, what does leadership mean to you? And if elected, what's a project you want to work on that'll benefit the nation in the long run?
Well, in the long
Long
run,
term.
to leave for, you know, our younger generation is the Election Act and the Financial Management Act, the things that govern us in the office. Those are the kind of things to see. And not only that, but working with even the addictions. If we look at it, our homes on the reserve, I think we have 56 homes right now. All our homes are affected by drugs. You know, like maybe 5, 10 homes, maybe not. You know, if you, because I live there and I have eyes and, you know, and those are some of my passion. Like right now, you know, because my home has been affected by that, by drugs, my children, you know, and it took my daughter to go to treatment for a while because she lost her brother. That just fresh. And I don't even know why my son passed away. And my hope it's not drugs. You know? That'll be my battle. That's where that one night I followed my daughter, she was going to Kenora, and I knew what she was going for. And you know what came in my head? Who lives in Kenora? I didn't have enough gas to get to Kenora to follow her. Come back, you know. She wasn't right. But these are real in our community. We have to face, we live there with this in our community. You know, a lot of grief, a lot of sorrow. You know, when our loved ones pass away, they're young. And I thank Creator, I'm standing here today, have a story like Esther's. But you know, I woke up. Something woke me up. And you know, I am thankful for Clarence and Daryl at that time. He was going for his NADAP, the addictions that time. He was working for the band at that time, you know. And I didn't have like resources. I had to reach out and there, you know, at that time. But I had to go for treatment. I went to treatment. My sister said it's not only because you're addicted or whatever with alcohol. She said you'll go find yourself. And you know, I'm thankful because out of there, I found you know, I had a self-esteem problem. I needed approval from everyone. But today I don't need that. I'm past that. I don't care what anybody says about me anymore. I'm 63 years old, my goodness, you know. It doesn't matter, it's my life, and I'm there to support anybody in the community, even if it's a drive, even if they don't pay me for gas. Sometimes I come home with less gas than then when I took them to town, but that's okay. Like my late mother taught me, the Creator look after me. And those are some of the things, that we live in. At the end of the day, we all have to go home after election, no matter who's chief or council there, But I'll be there and I'll still push for what we need done in the community. That's my voice. That's the voice I have today.
One question, regarding the homes, like how would you prioritize a home, like the severity, like how would you know who to go fix first or which house to
Well,
go to?
there's probably inspections right now in the housing, right?
Yeah.
There's probably inspections there. Go from house to house and see what's needed, even if it's a paint or a door or a window or whatever, Yeah, and hire those young men we met. They live here in Regina, Kenny and Bob. They were, those are our people. We could employ them and, pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So those are some of the things, I like to see in it. And it's not only on reserve. It's off the reserve. It's all people, all of them, and I'm sure they need help in what we need to do as well. And you heard it before, like the water, the upgrade of the plant, and all those issues. They're all legit.
Hi, I got a quick question for you. The majority of the people that live in houses on the reserve are not paying rent. How would you enforce payment of rent so we could have a fund to repair some of those homes?
Okay, Jerry, there's a program there that called reserved, what is it called now? Replacement reserve fund, where the rent is supposed to go in that place, and that's supposed to be there to fix up homes, for that reason. But I know some of the homes that were paid were remortgaged, and I don't know if they were remortgaged because Joanne told me that. Because I told her, well, I hope it's not mine, because I need mine fixed.
Can I just say something to that, Jerry? How can people pay rent when they don't even have a job? Most of the people on the community are on SA, so SA pays their rent.
Well,
Reality is, if you're not working, how are you gonna pay rent? I agree with you. And SA pays rent.
And
the SA pays rent, and that goes into the
a portion of it does.
And people on the reserve that are working are not paying rent.
Well, then that's something that
That's
the
what I'm
leadership
asking.
needs
That's
to
the
have
question
in a
for us.
policy.
That's the question for us.
And that's where, if they're working, that should come off their pay. So it's going to the where it's supposed to go.
Thank you.
All right, good. Thank you.
Did I sound knowledgeable? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't need your approval.
Okay, Rick. Ricky Crane.
Hello, everybody. Good evening to everybody. Good to see all the team band members here, familiar faces. And I myself, I'm glad to come up here and say a few words because I'm running for council. My name's Rick. Over the years, I tried my best to accomplish a lot of good things in my life, which I did and which I'm proud of. I have 23 years sobriety. I got my life together in January 26, 1999, and I'm still going strong, and I love it. I love my life the way I do things for myself. I belong to a union. and I went through some tests. I was fortunate enough to get a red seal for myself where I get a higher wage, and I was proud of that. I even applied for a pardon, but I was denied because of I was fined from like almost 25 years ago, and I just kind of surprised why they wouldn't give me a pardon. But like I did all those things. I even wrote a test for. I upgraded my schooling, and I was fortunate enough there to get a grade 11 certificate. I'm proud of myself for that. I have a bunch of other stuff like tickets for Red Cross, all that kind of stuff I worked on. Like once I start something, I always want to get it. Always want to complete it. And if I become a counselor and if I worked on something, like I have a strong mind where I'd want to finish what I start. Like I'd like it to work with people that have good work ethic, like people to work with where nobody wants to stray off. If there's a good plan in place for something that we want to do, and everybody works together, we could move forward and get that done. Like, I have a list of stuff that, like, I always look on social media and I see the stuff about water and keys, and that's a big thing. Like for people that live on reserve, that's one of the things you gotta look after, stuff like that. And people in a community, everybody likes money, so they want jobs. Right? We gotta have jobs for people on reserve. All that kind of stuff. But we gotta work together to create all that kind of stuff. This is my first time, my second attempt of wanting to be a counselor. The last time wasn't successful, but maybe this time, I don't know. I just hopefully it could happen. But, I could work with anybody. I could work with them. I get along with everybody. I'm a good guy. I like to joke around, make people laugh. Well, I like to laugh with people, like teasing. You know what? Laughing is a good medicine for everybody. It builds up your spirit. There's a lot of other stuff that to bring to the community, like their traditional ways and our solo language. Bring all that stuff in, and that's a good thing for everybody. We have a young man here that's like teaching that stuff, and that's good. That's a good thing. I love it myself. And if I was successful to come into being a counselor, I'd relocate back to the reserve. Although I live in Fort Capel, I own my own home there, which I'm proud of. I accomplished that on my own. Proud of that. I'd like to. It's really good when you own your own home. Like the band talked about stuff like where they could start people off and giving a small down payment. And that's another good thing, a lot of good stuff like that. But anyways, that's all I have to say. You guys, if you're interested in, voting for me, like, my name is there. I go by Richard /Ricky. Thank you guys all.
Ricky, I have a question for you. Okay? You said you like to laugh and joke.
Yeah.
Why weren't you laughing and joking last night?
name is Bernie O'Soup, and I live on the Key First Nation. But first of all, I've worked for the last 30 years. I'm an active oil field worker, and I've helped there's guys on reserve that I employ like this temporarily. There's about 5 or 6 of them that I was because I'm getting older. I can't do what I used to. So, but anyways, I'd like to help people work. So I try to encourage young guys to come to me, ask me for work. I will go out of my way to do it for them. Like I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. So that's the way it is. And what I like is to really change is the Selection Act. They make a band custom act. Like I hear people talking about it. It's really good, really good. And another thing, the land claims. They're gonna come. We gotta have a solid agreement made by the people for the people. And and it's gonna like we have it all spelled out, like where there's no bickering or whatnot. We can that's the main thing, where we invest our money and whatnot. Like I sat on a Kalahila, and I was there from June 2000 to December of 2004. The only thing I wasn't there was for the trust agreement. So I have experience in there. I know how the land claim process is. And basically, I want to help people to do the land claims, the Election Act, and employ people. Employing people is getting them jobs is been natural for me. I think my success is we put on a pipeline training in 1998 for the whole province, not only for Key First Nation. The laborers and welders was on Key, and the truck drivers was in the Pekises, and the Teamsters was in North Belfort, and we employed 150 people, like that's for the whole province, and it was a success. So, but basically, employment is my field, So if you want to vote for me, I ask you for your support, and I was going to put stuff on paper, but I didn't. But I bucked around one. I bucked my victory speech. Thanks. Any questions? I'll answer them now.
Bernie, how can we get more Indigenous men and women into the oil field?
Well, basically, you got to lobby that. Well, the TransCanada, Enbridge have programs that that they always say they hire 10% Native. Like right now, Trans Mountain is going. There's you can go online. You got to do a resume, and your First Nation they'll hire you. Like they make that a priority, and even TransCanada. I have a job out here in what you call it in Moose Jaw. It's going to start in end of June. But if I'm a counselor, I won't take it. But we can employ people there. Like I know the contractor. I know the inspection company. You can lobby for the work for that day, and I will do that. Whoever wants to work, and it doesn't even have to be there. Like wherever, I will go out of my way to get to work. Anything else?
Yeah. This is a comment and adding to that. And Fernie will lobby for you. He's gotten, being a young man, just coming out of high school, Fernie's helped me to find work and show me how to work. And he's always a good mentor to me, so I appreciate that, Fernie.
Chief elect.
You want to go right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll sit down. This one, it's good to see you all here again. All the familiar faces in these past speeches and meet and greets here, the chief and council that are present here right now. It's good to see you guys, everybody here. My name is Shannon Brass. I'll be running for chief this year. I've been talking with a lot of the urban people. And the concerns is there's a lack of communication in the band office with these urban people, And I've been kind of bringing it up to the people that have been talking to me, like they say when they call to the band office, they get, text this guy, ask this guy, ask this counselor. So I was bringing it up, maybe we have a council council, that urban council, you know, that'll look after these people out off the non-reserve, you know, so they don't have to, you know, get pushed to here, pushed here, that one person can look after all these people, you know, that, because there's a lot of concerns about that, the lack of communication in our band office, even with our own councilman or chief, but, you know, that could be fixed. This has been a good experience for me. Again, you know, this is kind of my second time going through all of this stuff. It's a little bit easier, you know, I kind of know what to expect, you know, what's going on, you know. It's because I got my foot in the door, you know, 8 years ago, but it's been good so far, you know. A lot of concerns. That's all people want to know and hear is concerns, you know, concerns. You know, sometimes they just want to be heard, you know. That's a good thing, you know, when you hear people out, because a lot of them say, you know, these council don't come around for 4 years, they don't hear what I have to say, you know. It's building relationships with people. That's what counts, you know. As a chief, we're a server, you know, we serve the people, we serve everybody equally. You look at everybody, no matter who they are, you know, if they don't get along with, you know, your friend, your cousin, or whatever, you know. It all comes down to the members of the Key First Nation, you know. That's what it all comes down to. It's not about the chief and the council, it's about the membership, you know. The councilmen are the people that look after the community, you know. They're the ones that decide and make those decisions. If they can't make that decision, you know, the chief will come in there and help them make that right decision. Are they always going to be yes decisions? Are there always going to be no decisions? You know, that's where they make their own decisions with that. You know, the chief is the spokesperson. You know, he speaks for the community. He speaks for everybody. That's what he does, regardless of who they are. You know, at the end of the night, when we lay our heads down to rest, you know, we're all key band members, regardless of who we are. You know, people do wrong to you, you know, maybe say a prayer for them at the end of the night, you know. You know, I during this whole campaign, you know, I did a lot of praying, you know, that helps me at the end of the night, in the morning when I wake up, you know. It's good to do that, you know, it soothes and helps, you know. And yet, you know, like, I grew up Christian, my dad is traditional, I respect both cultures, you know. I'm not here to condemn anything, you know. It's up to who you want to serve, who you want to pray for, you know, and that makes a big decision. It makes life easier for some people, you know, and stuff. When I think of the community, you know, when I go back there, I look at the what we have. You know, we have those 2 buildings. You know, the band office. We all know how the band office is like an old building. It's been there forever. You know, run down. Even the band hall. You know, we can have so much there. There's a lot of things we can get to our band office. We can get a new health center, you know, a new band office, a new band hall, you know, a rec center. You know, there's a lot of things that we can get for that community that are out there. We just need to grab, and we can do all that stuff. And another thing that was brought up too is always like, you know, there's all these settlements that are coming in, and just like Bernie addressed it there earlier, you know, I think that people should have a really strong say about what we do with that trust agreement, you know, because that money is just like I said it again, it doesn't belong to the chief and council, you know, it belongs to everybody. You know, we should know what's going on with that money, what we're selling, what we're buying with it, the interest, you know, the investments, everything that belongs in there, because that's a question that's brought up all the time, no matter who I see, is that money, you know. You can go a long ways if things are done right, you know, and when you work as one, you know, as a chief and council, you know, a lot of stuff gets done. When you have people, you know, fighting, people blaming, or people trying to, you know, charge, or, you know, you can't move forward with that kind of stuff, you know. Without unity, you're not going to move anywhere, regardless of what we do or who we are. You know, when you get unity, you prosper, you grow. You know, sometimes, you know, maybe we need to take that time to swallow our pride and ask for help, regardless of, you know, who it's from. Because there's a lot of successful people, a lot of successful reserves out there, you know, that prosper from all the stuff. They work as one, you know, maybe getting help from somebody just to take that first step. Yeah. You know, that it's very important to get off our feet. You know, he's been laying there too long, and she's been on her feet too long. It's like, as long as I could remember, as long as I started voting when I was 18, it's still the same reserve. Like, I don't even like using that word change. You know, change is, it's like, I don't, when I think of change, you know, when I hear this change word, it's like people are lying, you know, that like, if there was change, then where is it? You know, it's a word that's, like, it doesn't have no accountability right now, you know, and, you know, moving forward, you know, come June the 12th, there will be a new chief and council in there. That's my bet right now, you know? People want this change, either the youth, the elders, you know, the band members, they're just craving for this change, you know, and that's gonna come June the 12th, you know? I'm just gonna keep this short, Jim, you know, because you kind of get repetitive saying all the same things over and stuff, but it's good to see everybody here, you know, I'm glad I showed up here. You know, I was kind of being tired, being late. It's a journey doing all this stuff. You know, you're constantly on your phone as soon as you get up, as soon as you leave your room, and it takes a lot of energy, you know, and stuff. But I'm glad I came here, and I'm glad to see all you people here. Thank you.
Shannon, I got a question for you. Since the Pelly Haylands, it was initiated in 2008. And we're at 222 now, right? 2022. I think over the 14 years that it's been there, we've generated $13 million for the people, right? What would you do different in the next 4 years with it?
You know, probably, you know, to make money, you have to spend money, you know. That's where a lot of these other communities that I went to, you know, they create revenue. When you create revenue, you have economic development, you create infrastructure. It's spending that money wisely, you know, and the main thing, like I said before, is letting the people be in charge of that money, maybe making their decisions, you know. They want to know what's going on in there with that money, how to spend it, how to invest it, you know. It's up to the people. I think it's really up to the people to decide what they want to do with that money.
And over the last 14 years, the people have been making those decisions, and they want a Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
You know, and
I've never got an option to ask what I wanted to do with people. It was always been a vote put forward, and that was the choice. We were never given a choice. It was always, we needed money for a grader or for a store or for a weed company, but like we never get a choice into what we want with that dollars. No one's ever, have you guys ever been asked what do you want to do with PHL?
No.
Has anybody ever been asked or?
But see, that's why they should have asked the committee for that, to set that all up, right?
Yeah.
It should be council decided, that should be a committee.
I've never been.
Well, wasn't that supposed to be like that? Like,
Well, yeah.
wasn't that supposed to be the trust? You were
Yeah, was there I never made the trust agreement.
No, but I mean, it wasn't there, right? Like, why could we put?
Yeah, you could have, but you're supposed to sit down with the people and make the trust agreement and what the people wanted was supposed to be in there, like you voted on whatever, but it's supposed to be made by the people.
But it's dictated at this
So
point.
that's what I'm saying though, so like say if you voted on that grader, I can honestly promise you that the majority wouldn't have voted for that because they live off reserve.
Yeah.
So this is the thing
But
we're
it's
saying, you know,
dictated.
it's governed by 10%.
But it's also governed by the people in the hall.
Yeah.
It's governed by the people that are in the hall. That's who votes. They could
But
vote
I'm
against
saying the
per-
bigger picture,
Okay,
Jerry,
no,
is there's a paper that's put there on the mound on what we're voting for.
And you
We're
don't
not
have to
given
vote for that.
I know, but we're not, and even that voting system is everyone stands on one. So you're getting nepotized and getting ostracized for not supporting the in-office leaders in that day for not wanting to vote for what they think the need is. It's dictated in the old, none of us have a say in how PHL is spent because if it was, we'd have a beautiful gym out there. We'd have a place for our elders to come and ask for subsidy anytime for any need that they may have for people who have special needs or health issues. And it's
Shannon, I see you in that hall voting for or against things.
I would never
A lot
voted
of
on a
times.
PHL once in this last 4 years, and that's the honest truth. And then that
And it's
being
been here
said,
for 14
we've
years.
only voted for 800 and something. No, what was the last vote on this PHL we had?
Million something.
So we always see what we're voting on, but we never see what the actual revenue is. We always see what's been spent, but we never see what the actual, I've never seen an audit.
1.6.
Well, I've never seen the actual revenue from PHL for the last 4 years.
That the PHL is gonna, the Royal Bank is gonna be out there, our investors are gonna be out there, so you should be out there on June the 9th asking those questions. And they'll give you all the information that you need.
So we're having a PHL meeting June 9th?
Yeah. Well, see, every year, part of the agreement is we're supposed to make a report to the membership. The Royal Bank comes out there and our investor will come out there and he'll explain to all of you where our money is and where it's at and what to spend.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you.
That's not hidden from the people.
Was there a notice posted? Does the people know?
Well, I'm telling you now. They don't know.
But all the people know.
And why now? Why during election?
What's that?
Why now? Why during election?
It's every year. You gotta do that every year because, see, the fiscal year ending for the Pellet Haylands is December the 31st. Usually most places, like if you're working for the band, the fiscal year ending for the band is March 31st.
Like
ours,
the meeting before then?
Like what do you mean?
Like who selects the dates of the meetings?
The Royal Bank or this?
Well, when the chief and council that gets in there, like, okay, well, let's say the new chief and council gets in here, you guys are gonna have to get an orientation, you're gonna go and sit at the Royal Bank, and that will be up to you. Whoever's elected, that's gonna be up to the leaders to decide how that's gonna work.
So.
That's why you're put there to make
Shouldn't be up
decisions.
to the leaders, it's up to the people
A
to
reason
decide.
Council would like to have a committee for the Pelly Haylands, the membership. That's if you want to.
Great job, Mike.
Okay,
Thank you. I feel like Murray here.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. I'll go, I'll do like this when 1 minute left, and then I'll go like this when it's like time, okay? All right, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say, I want to greet everybody. I'd like to greet everybody in my language. Kinama, Doggies, Kinama, Wapen, Manix, Vista. Atitas, Kinegi, Aptina, Tamio, Smus, Nama. Kinama, Penuma. Uske Matizin, Aptinakata. Upsigate, Nishima, Wapen. First off, I want to say my name is David Cody, and I'm probably the oldest standing counselor sits with the band. I've been there for many years, and when Lake Campbell ran, everybody wanted change. Campbell wanted change to one of his things was that. He would have liked to see our band being self-sufficient. What I'm hearing here tonight from the young people, and really there's a lot of educated young people, and I'm glad for that. Because, times are changing, and we have to change with the times. Technology is there, like I could never do what this young man is doing here. But I think it's also good to be wise about your decisions because sometimes you can put your foot in your mouth if you're not wise about what you talk about and what you say to people. That's happened to me many times sitting in like I'll give you a good example. Sometimes you're sitting in a council meeting and we all agreed that there's no more advances for the staff or the council. All of a sudden you got one of the council members. It used to be so frustrating. Wanting an advance, and yet a while ago, we made a decision over there not to have no advances. So there's a lot of things about leadership that gets up. But yet at the same time, like even I hear the PHL being talked about. I was part of that trust agreement when we made it. At the time, I didn't know a damn thing about it. But what we wanted to do was protect our money. We wanted to take it we didn't want the leaders to have full say over the money, that they could just spend money and take it any time and spend it the way they want it. And I believe Like a good example, everything's all based on need at the band. If you become an elected leader, when you look at your stats or you look at your people, you know, I hear education being mentioned. I hear trades and skills. Even there one time we got money for Job Start. You know what used to bother me about Job Start again? Somebody come up and say, oh, well, I got a job. And we give them $300. Next morning, you come to the band office, they're standing around in front of the band office. You know? That's not my fault as a leader. If I put my trust in my people themselves have to be able to, you know, follow through with what they're talking about. You know, I went, I think Clarence was chief. I went and sat at 3 or 4 chiefs. They were talking to Enbridge. Enbridge is the big pipeline that runs their pipeline through right across Canada into the States. And one of the things that I've seen over the years is we train a lot of our young people on the First Nation, but there's no jobs. You know, you gotta have, if I'm gonna train all your people here today for a job, I need to make sure that you have a job to go to. And that's what I told Enbridge. T-Band was the only band who did not agree to Enbridge's deal. And at that time I stood up and I told him, I said, there's things that I'd like to see for our First Nations. Number one, I asked about a union, a First Nations union. First Nations union meaning that I want to make sure that all, in our treaty territory here, that all the bands that belong to the treaty territory and the First Nations people that are working belong to these First Nations. And to train them, give them proper training. And soon as the training is done, put them to work. Because I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of our people is they want to strive. But then they come to the city. Good? Okay. Okay. But anyway, I am running for, and I do bring a lot of experience and knowledge to the table. Let me tell you something. I've seen a lot of things over the years. And I am asking for the support of the people from the Key First Nation. I'm asking you to put your trust in me. And I'll always do my best job that I can do for the people because I'm one that cares about people and I love people, man. Let me tell you that. And I'm telling you, if you do put my accent, I will represent you people. I've always represented you people. And I always will, whether I'm a leader or not. And I will always have a strong voice. Be great. Hey, you know, just on a funny note, Jay-Cee, if you don't mind, okay? I just want to share a story, you know, like what Shannon was saying, man, like, holy man, you get stressed out, you get tired, and we're coming from Edmonton. Ricky and Gilda and myself, and Ricky was driving, huh? And Ricky stops and he says, hey, you want to drive there? Well, all right, I told him. You know, I got behind the wheel and I seen Gilda going around the truck, I seen her getting in. And I drove off. I was sure I heard Ricky getting in the back of the truck. And I drove off, huh? And all of a sudden, Gilda's going to charge her cell phone and says, you know, Ricky's not here. I said, wow. And the big matter was the gas station was on empty. We were just about out of gas. And holy man, you know. So we pull over and telling Gilda, phone CAA, get them to bring you gas. Oh, man. Now, and Gilda called the cops. We were so worried about Ricky, yeah. And in my mind, I was, oh, man, I just did that. You know what? Ricky must be so close to the scene, you know? And anyway, they bring us gas, and just as we're pulling it on the approach, Gilda is saying, look, there's somebody walking there. Here, that's Ricky. I don't know how far Ricky. And sure enough, Ricky was bad. I was so scared to see him. I'm so sorry, brother. I'm so sorry. Oh, has he ever, well, I don't blame him, but and I was telling Gilda, I said, how the heck, there's two of us sitting in this truck, how the heck could we not know Ricky? You know?
That's not funny.
But anyway, those are things that happen after, you know, sometimes you never know what's gonna happen, or, I'm glad Ricky's on our team. I'm asking you to support Ricky and, you know, our team, you know, and you young people, like, I give you guys, like, listening to George, and, yeah, you young people are smart. You guys have it, you got the intelligence. I don't have that.
No, you.
Yeah, I'm an old-fashioned guy, yeah, but you know, like I said, you know, if I get in and whoever I get in with them, and I always try to work with people, you know. But the other thing is, I wanted to say, I've never been anybody's yes man. And I tell you young leaders that, don't ever be a yes man. You have your own mind, you have your own heart, think with it, use it.
Quite those elders, eh?
Well, good evening. My name is Sidney Kashane. I'm running for council too, and I'm running with Shannon. We have a team there, and Glenn's my campaign manager. And us too, we went to Vancouver and back, but tell you it's tired. Sometimes I slept on the way coming back. Where I was just tired, and I drove up to Hope. Glenn told me, you know, drive up to Hope at least, you know, take over. I said, okay. I drove up to Hope, and me and him were kind of arguing a bit on the way because we're hanging out for how many days? Getting mad at each other. And then the GPS too, like, because I'm driving and I'm trying to tell Glenn to put the GPS on, but no, you. So driving and putting the GPS on at the same time. But anyways, Glenn took over and Hope. We drove up to Kamloops, and we picked up Bugs there, and Bugs drove us to Edmonton. We were all tired. I just slept, made a bed in the back, and I slept all the way. And woke up. We were supposed to get a room in Jasper. Yeah, we were going to get a room in Jasper, but I woke up 4:30 in the morning. We were sleeping on the side of the road. And it was pitch dark out too. I got up, I had to use the bathroom, and it's kind of being chilled up if something was out there. So I went to use the bathroom, come back, and then Bugs woke up and he said, well, better, you know, get on the road again. So we got on the road again. We drove up to Edmonton. We met up with Shannon. But, you know, I just look at it as, you know, starting over again, because, you know, when we were in there last time, we had a lot of things going. We didn't get a chance to finish up all of them. You know, one of that is the land in Yorkton. It was 10 acres. You know, we had that almost up and going. And, you know, like 2 weeks after we got taken up, everything started coming in, our approvals and all that kind of stuff. And, but, you know, I'm willing to give it another shot, try it out, you know, do my best job as a counselor, you know, for the people, and work with, you know, whoever gets in there. And I remember, you know, one of the things too, when I first got in there last time, you know, I thought, you know, not really knowing all the things ins and outs about being a band counselor and being a leader. You know, you have this, you know, this big bright idea, and you're all for it, ready to try and change everything. But you know, when you get in there, you know, things change a bit. There's a lot of rules you got to follow, different stuff. You know, even you know, the land claims there. You know, we signed up on the land claims, the 1909 surrender in Calgary to the Waters. We got that going, and then we also signed up on the cow and plow. We were one of the first bands in Saskatchewan to sign up on that. But I'm not sure exactly where that one was. And the other one is the flood claim. You know, Glenn, I give Glenn credit for that one. You know, but first, me and Glenn, when we first were working on that, I didn't think it was going to be worth that much. I mean, we were talking about it. We were figuring maybe a couple million. But you know, the local farmers and Ducks Unlimited were flooding the reserve, directing the water onto the reserve for over, I think, 20 years or 30 years or something like that. something like that. And anyways, there's a couple areas where we used to farm, and we couldn't farm it for about 20 years or more. And then also we had to move some houses, which it cost a lot of money to do that. Not me, but the leader before me did all that. And anyways, we figured it was going to be worth that much. So that we found out it was worth 15 to 30 million on just the flood claim alone. So, Glenn, I give him, Glenn O'Soup, I give him a lot of credit for starting on that, and, us, helping him out and working on it, and, the old lands manager and all that. And also the Yorkton land, we found a group of people from, they were called the New York Hedge Fund or something like that. They were going to kick in 35 million for that land in Yorkton to get it up and going. That land is kind of like an area where, what's the school's called, Sacred Heart, and the regional in that area. And, we almost had that going. We had a dialysis machine that we were buying. We were going to put it on there. There's also Starbucks coffee there. There's other apartments that were going to go up. The shovel would have went into the ground that summer, but we didn't really get a chance to get it off and going. But I'm already cut short on my speech. But I just ask you guys to vote for me, put your X there. I'm willing to do it again. I know I could do it, and I just thank you, and God bless you and safe travels to the rest of the people.
Question?
With that land in Yorkton, I know it costs me Sacred Heart. I've heard a couple different informations, but I know you probably should have asked this to whoever does get elected. Is that land zoned for residential or commercial development?
Residential. See, that's one of the part of the things that they were talking about to, try to build a gas station, but we couldn't do it with Yorkton. City Yorkton told us it was residential. So that's why we went for the housing and different stuff like that, the apartments. Otherwise, we would have, tried to put a gas station and other stuff on there.
Online question? Online question. What's your thoughts about buying ballots? Do you have the integrity to say no?
Buying ballots, that's Keys is, one of the, the worst reserve. I look at Cody's and Kisgos and see ones getting in there and they run and, they hardly go out and campaign. Yet they still get in and all that, but that's I hope people vote out there and vote the right people in, and without having to take the money for their ballots or their votes. So without there, you guys vote for the right people that are going to do the job and get the job done right.
For the land, if you guys just like that, you guys need to let everybody know about the residential. Did they get a vote on it? That's what I'm saying about one person making a business deal and nobody really knows about stuff. So whoever's running these younger people, think about things like that, transparency. Yeah, they're talking about transparency, I'm not here to put down our elders, Daryl, Clarence, and you gotta remember that my Busham Delbert was a counselor at one time, and that's just the system that we come by, and I have a lot of respect for them, they come to the ceremonies and things like that, and with all the way it's going, putting one another down, gotta have respect for one another. At the end of the day, we're still family. This is something good that's happening here. This has never been done before. So this is a change coming. And it's good that we're here as a community because we're all family. And we shouldn't be fighting over nonsense, That's what I say. So that's all. Nick, that's all.
Last, is there anybody else want to speak other than?
Good evening, people, my relatives, brothers, sisters. I don't know what you guys are fighting over. There's nothing to fight over. I buried it already, so. Hey, you see this? I just got this last night from my band member. That's beautiful work.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
I found something that,
Yeah.
I found something that someone beat for me. Anyway, I want to say good evening one more time. And, you know, the system we run under, we live under today, you guys talk about the election, it's set up for failure. It's set up for corruption. Everything that's under that system is not good. It's not ours. You know, I remember a long time ago, very long time ago, we sat like this. I see them in a room, and they handpicked their leaders. You know, and you guys want to go back that way? Let's all go back that way. Sit around and say, you know, hey, you run. You know, they used to watch you. They used to see good things in you and what you were made out of, and they put you up front. You know, a lot of them turned it down and said, no, you run. You know, but yeah. I don't know when this ballot stuff started. I don't know when this boot stuff started buying, you know. I remember I come home one time, they were giving out $500.
Is that what we're all lined up with?
I jumped in line. I jumped in line.
Well, it's a joke.
I see a big line behind me. I didn't see nobody turning $500 down. Anyway, enough of that. You know, you talk about communication. This is what I think. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back in with my team, and I wish I had a few more people I could put on my team. I definitely pick her and you.
We're all about there. How that comes there.
You don't run away with me. Never mind. I gave her a shot. She booked it on me.
But see, but for that election act, it had counselors, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely going to finish that.
Yeah.
We're going to finish all those acts that we set up a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we're going to come out and ask for help. Communication. You know, I want to go to each city. I start a committee in each city. Committee of about 5 people. You guys can have meetings in your own city and bring your issues forward, you know?
Have an urban office.
Yep. The other thing I want to start is youth council. I always wanted to start one. I never got a chance, or I always got it kind of disappeared on me. Is a youth chief and council, because we need to train these young people to be leaders. But it's not easy being a leader. It's not easy. And I'll tell you, I don't know, you know, how many of you could handle, you know, getting phone calls 24/7. And when people need help, are you going to say no to them? You know, I make a pretty good wage every month, and I give half of it away. I'll tell you, I give a lot of money away. And if you don't give money, your career of being a politician is going to be cut short. I'm telling you. Where's that young guy? The young guy is gone now. He's always phoning, texting. No, I helped him. You know, it's not for, you know, if it was for buying boots, I've been buying boots for the last 4 years every day. So I must have a 500 boots out there. You know, I give every time, man. And this is the way we should do things. Back home, we should sit in that hall over there and have meetings like this. And not the only meetings. Have healing circles, talking circles. Get everything out and open. You know? And then you'll see that lateral violence and that name calling, whatever, slow down a little bit, you know? That's what we need to do. Because I'm always getting blamed for something. Blamed for stealing. Geez, if I was stealing, but you guys wouldn't have 15 million sitting in the bank. I guarantee that. But there's a lot of things that we need to do. And we need to try to help one another, learn to help one another. You know, and learn to support one another. You know, one time I didn't know how to support someone. Now I know. You know, I was asking for the longest time for a grieving circle back home. We lost a lot of people, you know. What do? We go home and stay by ourselves. That shouldn't be. You know, you're supposed to have frontline workers back home. I don't see no workshops happening back home. I asked for them. I've been asking for a lot of things. It's not my fault that things don't happen. You know, I'll take responsibility. I'm not blaming anybody. But when I ask for something, it should get done. But most of the time, it doesn't get done. You know, it's not my fault that damn water's dirty over there. You know, it's not my fault that houses haven't moved. We've been fighting for a long time. If you guys get elected, don't get discouraged if you get told no. Because you're going to get told no from the government. They don't jump for us, man, I'm telling you. We got to create our own thing here. And we have a golden opportunity coming down the pipe here. That's one of the reasons I'm running, is all this money coming down the pipe. So I can retire happily. No, I just don't want anybody getting there and playing with our money. Because this is the last chance we're getting people. If we mess this up, we're never ever going to get another chance. You know? And my record shows that I can handle this kind of money without spending wildly. You know? And I don't have say over the Pele-Haylands. Whatever they put there, that's what they put there. I threw suggestions out there. You know? We vote on it, we vote on it. You don't like the way we vote, well, let's change it. You know? You want to, you know, I don't know how we can change, but we can definitely change it. You know? There's always a way to change something. You know? There's always a way. I should basically put how many more minutes I got?
You're done 2 minutes ago.
Hey, you said all night. All right, that's good.
You got time for questions?
I got a question. What can be, I know one thing. Band member assistance cripples our people. And it's been crippling our people for a long time. What can be replaced to do that?
Well, just a while ago here, we cut it off. Well, I didn't cut it off. They blamed me again for vote buying through band member assistance. Maybe that's what they should do all year. You know, that's a tough one because, you know, your people are having a hard time. Are you going to say no? How many of you can say no? Somebody wants help. That's a tough question to answer. I don't know how we can replace that. Give them a job? What happens if you can't walk or you can't, you know?
Well, I agree with, the neediest of the needy deserve some kind of assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're 20 years old, you're healthy as a horse, and you're asking for $300 every other month, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. They should be out there working. I'm telling you, man. If I was 20 years young, I'd go work in a bush for a year.
I can say there was members that was told no for help.
You can say no for the people?
No, some members that weren't helped, they were told no, and it was a great need based on how.
Must have been voted down, I mean, I don't know. For what reason, I don't know. Yep.
I asked Daryl if he could help my daughter. She has breast cancer for help, and he said no, there was no money for that. Just last week, 2 weeks ago. And she had to take a year off of work.
There are certain things that we get funded for, and there are certain things. So that's the first time I'm hearing that request. If I would have heard, I would have definitely stepped up, gave you something.
Didn't we vote on 75,000 for health, this past December, because you utilize those dollars to help her with her needs? We voted for the big jump for health dollars?
He said no.
Yeah, that $75,000 didn't last very long, because people were, we were helping a lot of people, we bought different things for medical things and whatnot. $75 don't go far
But see,
with the
that's
band of
if
people.
you had a committee, those are things that they could have addressed into the emergency, and then they could have brought the vote forward to everybody, and we could have voted on that, like, there should be an emergency.
You see, we had committees in place, I don't know what happened to them again.
Yeah, I'm just curious if that's emergency reasons though, right? Like, 'cause I'm sure we would have voted that to help her, the people, yeah.
But can I just say this, though, and I'm gonna go back to what I just said earlier on in my speech, because I know somewhere in here, is when, as a leader, like, I know we wanna help our people, but there's ways that we can do it, like I said, we can know where they are when we want them to vote for us and we go see them. We should be knowing who all our members are, what their needs are, and capturing those statistics and capturing the needs and taking it on a provincial and a federal level and advocating for them. And ensuring that any need that is there is met, not just for one, but for all our members. And I think that's important to remember here is we need to capture the needs of key First Nation people and be using that to advocate for them in a bigger way. We all know our funding levels come short when it comes to education for our First Nations children, when it comes to infrastructure, and we gotta be doing better for them, and that's the way I feel. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, we need to put a lot of money in different areas. But where do we get this extra money? You know?
Online question.
It's always, running out. I found myself a writer. He does a good job for culture, for language. So this year, that's gonna happen.
Can I ask a question? Okay, you said you got a good writer for proposals and stuff, but why are you doing it just for your culture and stuff when this lady's asking for help for her daughter that has cancer?
Yeah.
We can do that. Yep.
Oh, this is an online question. Question for Clarence: if you got a donation of $20,000 for this election, would you accept it?
Sure, I'd accept it.
Question for Clarence: do you?
I eat, man. My car burns gas.
Do you ever sit down and really think about your late brother Campbell Papwash and what he was about as chief? If so, what do you think he'd think about you and your past time in office as chief?
I think he kicked the shit out of me. No, I think my brother had a vision, he had a dream, and he kind of fell short. And I'm hoping one day, we talked about here earlier, we could do our own land. It's always my dream, is to see us working our own land, buy more land, work it. Because that's where the money's at. You know, I totally agree with his vision. We will have two things. We have the people, we have the land. Our job is to take care of the land. And if we can't take care of ourselves, we definitely can't take care of the land.
And last question from youth says, what are your thoughts on repeat offenders running our nation? Do you think that is okay or that should come to an end?
repeat
Offenders. Yeah.
I think it's all right as long as they clean up their act, as long as they continue doing not to, do what they're doing. This way you're helping the individual build themselves up, That's what we need to do. We can't be kicking people when they're down. We have to lift them up. I don't care what people do, man. I'm there to help them. That's what I did do when I was an NADAP worker. Even when I wasn't an NADAP worker, I was there to help people. I don't care what they did or no. Our job is to help people up, not to kick them around when they're down. That's where we go wrong.
Just a question, with our culture and language, what you put in, is that coming to the band, or is that, how is that?
It's already as a band.
It's already as a band?
Yeah, we.
So how much money did you get and what is it for?
It's for language and it's for the culture.
Yeah, but I mean, like how are you?
Whatever we choose to use on language and culture.
Are we gonna get speakers that come in and teach our language, or like how is it?
Yeah, we utilize our own people that can speak the language. That's what I use.
Yeah.
And
how much did we get?
Oh, I don't know.
It's
It all depends on the budget.
It's still in the works then, like how much we're getting?
I'd have to sit down and make a budget for what I'm doing. And when it comes to the culture camp, there's 2 camps that I run. I have to cut that money in half and make a budget.
So, I said, more questions or can I go? So that this whole thing like with Clinton trying to sue the band and Joanne, that's again another big problem, that you guys are gonna be facing, so just say they don't get in, you're gonna have to deal with that bill, right, if they're gonna sue the band, so we're getting to a point now where we're suing each other, we're trying to take each other down, we're freezing people's accounts, you guys gotta do better. Like this, we learn from this now, and we can't do that to one another, and it's time to change that, but, that's all.
Good point, Mike, good point.
Okay, don't want to ask me.
No, it's just a concern. There was an essay client who never got help for 3 months. Why is that? What's wrong with the worker we have? How could she not? Just because she had an advance or whatever, and that she went without help for 3 months.
We have a lot of problems with that worker.
Well, yeah.
I find out.
Look at how much of us were without power for months. And you're the chief.
Well, I don't go around paying power bills.
Well, no, it's not that we have.
Yeah, I've been trying to look after that bill for the longest time. I kept on getting shot down.
Yeah.
And I don't make decisions by myself.
Well,
We have to have a quorum when we make decisions. And I don't even get the boot on there.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean, like these are kind of the issues that we face that, there was 5 households, someone on disability, no power. And for myself, and you have people living in your house, the bill should be paid. Going without power, and that's a quality of life. And this is what we live on our community, that client 3 months with nothing. I just can't understand that. And you help everybody, but this is where we need to the leaders need to take care of the needs of the people, that's quality of life. And that's only $225 a month, and why was that person without SA for 3 months? I just heard that today. People tell me concerns, so I gotta bring them up. And that's the voice I have today for the people.
I thank you for bringing that up by me, and I'll go, when I go home, I'll definitely talk to that worker. And if you don't listen, I'll throw her out of the goddamn office. Plain and simple.
I'll bring them up. That one person on disability, no power, can't plug his thing in.
You know, let me tell you something, Abby. Somebody that don't do their job shouldn't be there.
Well, why is she still there? That's the first thing that happened to that guy. She should have been down the road.
Go ahead.
If you're reelected, Chief Clarence,
I'm gonna be reelected.
what are you gonna do about our website that offers very little information on events?
That's another thing. People have been talking about, they're gonna upload that thing. I've never seen it done yet. You know, there's a lot of people that talk for nothing around here. They don't do
Who do we
nothing.
go to get that we can back the next chief up? Because we don't wanna be faced with these kind of issues again, because that page to us is so important.
I'll bring somebody that can do the job.
Yeah, I like to see that. And because
I will.
I've talked to a lot of people that said, when is the next event, or when's culture camp, and nothing is updated. People from different provinces want to come up, and nothing's happening.
What do you mean nothing's happening?
Our culture camps are not advertised. I think the last time I saw a poster was actually one a few years ago. It was actually a very good ad. I think that circulated, but still there was nothing on our webpage, like our official webpage. I go there quite a bit to check up what's on.
You know, this cap been going on for about 30 years. I don't use that website.
But other people do.
I don't use it. The word of mouth are a booster. That's the way our old people did a long time ago. You don't go, you know. Yeah, right.
Like you say, you're gonna get reelected, and our people out there, like we have 6, 7, maybe non-band members that are working, and our people need the jobs, need employment.
Yes.
You know?
I think I addressed that other night. I'm not getting rid of them.
I want to get about the word.
I'm hearing you loud and clear. I said I'm gonna get rid of them.
This one back to the person that was fired for speaking, and I'm the NADAP worker, so if you get reelected and I go back to the office, am I going to be fired as well just for speaking out against you?
Did I say I was gonna fire you because
No, I'm just bringing up my concern.
No, I just want this. I want to see you do your job.
Another thing, like you said, you certainly would accept a big donation. And did you accept a big donation?
Well, my buddy gave me a few bucks the other day.
Your who?
My buddy?
Who's your buddy then?
I can't tell you. Come on, now let's get real here. Somebody start cutting down in front of you, you're not gonna say no to it. Anybody here be stupid to do that, huh?
Well, the reality is you're in public office, and it should be.
I'm telling you.
It should be known.
Somebody lent me money. Is that a crime?
No, it's not a crime, but it's also, you're in a public office, so where you get money from, it should also be public. Where funds are coming in, it also should be public, especially if it's coming from Doug Will.
I don't tell people my personal bank account now. Never.
It's just for transparency purposes as a leader.
I just got a check
and being
a few
accountable.
months ago for $200,000. You want me to tell you where that come from? No, I'm not gonna tell you.
Why wouldn't you tell us? You got 200,000?
Yeah.
From where?
Everybody knows where.
Well, is it
It's so blind of you.
was it for you or for the band? Was it for you or for the band?
It was my name on it.
Chief Clarence for the Quash, or just Clarence for the Quash?
It's Clarence Quash.
I just know, like, for me, I Laurel.
All right, I'm walking out. That's good.
As everybody's in the room.
Thank everybody for coming out. I heard some really good things here. Best of luck.
Are we gonna take one big picture? We should take one big picture of everybody. Yeah. Yes, and everybody vote Kimberly Jay.
You heard it, folks. Vote for transparency.